I'm so tiny. Bigger. Bigger! More! Oh, what the hell? There we go. Hold on. Hold the phone. Ready to change his profile picture. My green thoughts playing on that the phone. What are you on about, dude? He always just changes it to a profile picture he likes. That's that's it. Y'all over here fucking making up fucking whatever at this point. And then you have Gond, Mr. Gigok himself, out here just making fucking boner videos. His only takeaway from the entirety of season 5 is the boner meme has been adapted. That is all the dude cares about. That is all the man cares about. It's fucking hilarious. It's both like very demoralizing and sad, and at the same time kind of funny that that's all he seems to fucking care about. He's such a weirdo, dude. And then he wonders why his video was fucking demonetized. Gee, I wonder, you fucking put a giant fucking penis growing. What did you think was gonna happen? What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Oh, no recap. Okay. Straight into business. Straight into business. So I hear this episode adapted 5 chapters, and I'm curious how that's gonna be paced because some of it is like kind of decent because like sorry, some of it has no dialogue. So it's like, oh well, I can kind of understand why they could just adapt it because there's a lot of parts that just don't have dialogue. So let's see. Also, I wanted to, okay, before we continue, um, invincible thrag mad meme. This is what I had in mind. This is what I had in mind when I made the thumbnail. This is what I had in mind when I made the thumbnail. This is literally all I was thinking of. And I read the comics. I saw this before it became a fucking meme. Oh my fucking god! No, this is Chizuru. This is not Kazuya. This is Chizuru, and this is Kazuya, and this is Mommy. I need to make an edit. I need to make a fucking edit of it. I swear to God, I need to make an edit of if it's just Mommy just losing her shit. Then they kissed. Oh my god. Oh, I'm fucking cracking up, dude. Okay. Whoa. Oh, it's just a still. What the fuck is this piano? Oh. What the fuck is this piano? This is a little weird. Oh my. Oh my. That looked a little awkward because she like hovered for a second and then she like shook and then went down, then shook again, then went back down again. That looked a little awkward. It still looked really pretty. Like I think they did a decent job for what they had to do. They did the scene justice, okay, to some degree. They did the scene justice where Shizur slowly backs up. Okay, first off, What the fuck are these boobies? They're literally just fucking hovering there. It looks so goofy. Second, I didn't get the she rocked my fucking world vibe. Damn it. Visually, it's good. I already have a problem with the pacing. Visually, it's good. I already have a massive problem with the pacing. I have a massive problem with the pacing. No. I don't think they did a good job with the pacing. This is where I'd argue they fucked up. This is where I'd argue they kind of fucked up. They actually paced this poorly. That kiss needed to linger. That kiss needed to fucking linger. When it stops, it needed to feel like fucking thunder. Okay? You got your world fucking rocked. And unfortunately, while it is very pretty, while they did the scene visual justice, as she backs up and just the immediate, oh, let's just get into it. It just doesn't feel like this kiss was goddamn thunderous. Okay? It doesn't, the animation is not the issue. The animation is not the issue. The animation is okay. It's what they do with the animation that's the problem. I would argue the animation here is kind of okay. It's just it's too fast. They need to slow the fuck down. Reishi does like a fucktillion panels. Is it true Kazi and Chizuru already kissed in the anime? It really isn't an AI. Yeah, they kissed. And they kissed in the manga. Like twice. Maybe 3. No, actually. Nope, they kissed 4 times. Never mind. They kissed 4 times. And they almost had sex. Like 3 times. They kissed 4 times and they almost had sex 3 times. Welcome. Animation sucks. They didn't make an effort to animate their lips hit in the show colorized manga panels. No, that's not the issue. No, that's not the issue. The issue is pacing. The issue is pacing. You can tell. 4 times? Yeah. Okay, so Chizuru counts the CPR as a kiss. They kiss twice here. And they kiss 1 more time later. That's 4 times. They almost had sex when Kazuya fell on top of Chizuru when they went to her house. Dude, why are you such a fucking... Wiz, I'm gonna mute you again. You're kind of getting on my nerves, dude. Why are you such a fucking downer? Such a fucking downer, dude. Getting a 30-minute mute. Jesus Christ, man. What a downer. To Chizuru, the CPR counted, yeah. Let's see. So they almost had sex when he fell on top of her in her house when they were all alone. And like, I swear to God, if something happened, like if either of them made a fucking move, it would have happened. They got mad horny in the shed, like when they were in a literal shed. Shit was getting mad horny. And then when they went on the date, like, I'm gonna be fucking real. When they went on the date, like, I swear to God, if Kazuya had made a move, they would have had sex. Dead on. I'm dead on. If Kazuya had made a move, it would have happened. No. But he wasn't going to, so those things did not happen. However, they did actually kiss 4 times. Okay. Sorry. Oh my God, what? Whoa, what the fuck is going on here? What's going on with her boobs? That's anime. That's, oh boy. Wow, I think they I think they used a lot of their animation budget, ironically, for the kiss moment and for the previous episodes. They allocated a lot of their people for the previous episodes because those actually had very good structure and pacing. Whereas this, like, there's already a significant pacing issue. I'm already seeing some animation errors, or just like anatomy weird stuff like this. Let's keep going. Okay. Okay, this is going to sound weird. The music is like giving me, oh, I'm being so sincere vibes, and it doesn't feel right. I think this music is playing too soon. It's not that it's not that the music sucks. It's not that the music sucks. It feels like it's playing too soon. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you. I feel like the music is just playing too soon. The music is fine. I just think this is not where it should play. I get Chizuru's being really sincere here. I get Chizuru is like this is Chizuru's truth. She's being like incredibly honest here, even though it is a lie. And I get the idea, but the music just kind of feels off for the scene. She rocked his world. This shot's funny. Let's look at how it looks in the manga. Let's look at how it looks in the manga. This shot's fucking hilarious. It's 227. Okay, so yeah. This is how it's supposed to. I like this better. I like this better. I like this so much better. Oh, this is way better. Way better. He's as in shock as they are, but he also got his world rocked. Here, he's just kind of got his world rocked. Something about this is not... I don't know why it's not working for me. Something about this is not working for me. I can't pin it down. Why is this image not working for me? Maybe it's how he looks. He looks childish. Yeah, I think Kazuya looks a little more childish here, like in the anime. He looks a little more childish in the anime, whereas in the manga, there's like an adultness to him. But I love what Reiji does with this paneling here, where the background is white because he himself is kind of blank. Not just like, you know, he's somewhere else, you know, because he's got his world fucking rocked, but also how he literally has fallen apart. See, when you look at it like this, I can see why some people might laugh. When you look at, I want to laugh. Like, it's playing this, like, super emotional piano piece in the background, and then you have mommy fucking losing it. I think this scene would have been bajillion times better if it had no music. I think this scene would have been a bajillion times better if it had no music, or if they placed the music in a strategic way. They just had music in the background. There's just music in the background. It's just there, and it removes a lot of the impact of each individual thing that's supposed to be happening, whether it be people's reactions, Kazuya's reaction, Chizuru's reaction, the moment in between where they pause over the kiss. Dude, it's there in the anime. It just doesn't have any impact. This is, I'm sorry to say, this is bad pacing. I am the pacing advocate for Rent-A-Girlfriend manga. This is bad pacing. I'm sorry to say, because when I look at this panel, when I look at these two fucking idiots, god damn, God damn, they had their world fucking rocked. And now I'm just going to give you perspective on like what the manga's supposed to look like, right? It starts like this, right? So these shots they included in last episode, which I'm not a big fan of. I like that the whole point of these shots is that it's really close and intimate. It zooms out super fucking far, zooms back in. This is literally visual storytelling. Okay, so when you have it be super close and intimate, and then it zooms out, and it's like this is a big deal, right? The intimacy that they're sharing is a visually conveyed to you as a big deal. It zooms in, and then you see the kiss. This is the shot they start with, and they have the fucking piano playing, and then you have everyone's reaction. I think everyone's reaction is a little more nuanced in this one, right? There's a little more nuance. Like Ruka's like, oh fuck. Kibe is just, what the fuck, seriously? Curry is like, damn, oh shit, it's happening. Kazuya's parents, just shock and surprise. Nagomi has life coming back to her eyes. Whereas Mommy, literally gone. This is inconceivable to Mommy. Then you have it zoom, you have the other shot again, and it's so visually important that you see all these women staring at them. Right? Because this is a big deal to the women present here, right? The public shows of affection are a big deal in Japan, and not just that, it's literally happening in a public pool in front of a fuck ton of people that are watching. This public show of affection is massive, and it's very important that they show this, and there's no people, because they don't have the animation budget for it. Then it pans from the back, right? You get a bunch of different panels that convey the intimacy of this scene. Then it zooms in at Kazuya, right? It's the same exact shot right here, and it zooms in his face. You feel the touch on his face. You feel her hand, right? Sorry, you see her leg pulling down, because remember, she's standing on her tippy toes. You see her leg pull down as the kiss slowly pulls away. And then you see her literally, visually, start to pull away. It's such amazing visual storytelling. He's literally doing okay, if you've ever seen how people talk about fucking Akira Toriyama, if you've ever seen how people talk about Akira Toriyama, and how he does manga paneling, where his manga paneling literally guides your eyes. You know exactly how to look, right? He creates a sense of motion with his paneling. Reiji's literally doing that here. You zoom in from this shot into Kazuya's eye, which is right here. Then you see her hand, and then you see the feet touch down, and then you see her literally visually pull away. It's such good visual storytelling, right? And literally everything behind Chizuru is blank, and you slowly see Nagomi and Kibe, and then they are visually shown to you now. It's literally life coming back into Kazuya's eyes. Unfortunately, my issue with the anime is a literal storyboarding and pacing issue. It's a storyboarding and pacing issue where I feel like the past 4 episodes they understood the fucking mission. The past 4 episodes, in my opinion, they understood the fucking mission. Even though it wasn't as good as the manga, it's never fucking going to be. I felt like because they understood what they wanted to convey incredibly fucking well, it turned out really well and conveyed the themes and ideas of the manga without feeling like it's literally lesser than. This, unfortunately, in just the kiss alone, I feel like it's not doing the scene justice. They could have. I understand that they're pressed for time. I understand they're really struggling. It's just too fast. It's not just, oh, they'll shit, the manga is better. That's not my issue. That's not my issue. I'm saying they didn't convey the intention of the manga in any way, in my opinion. It's flat. It's really, really flat. It's just moving really fast, and things are just happening because they're cramming in five chapters. Like, I'm just like, okay, they have 5 chapters, maybe they can make this work. I didn't feel that at all. In fact, the moment we started the episode, I was kind of worried for a very, very simple reason. It's literally just a still, and it's panning up to a still, which is just, whenever it happens with this anime, that's a bad fucking omen. Whenever that happens with this anime, it's a bad fucking omen, because that means there's just gonna be not a whole lot of moving happening. Okay? And while I've had some issues here and there that eventually added up in the previous episodes, like how they depicted Kibe, or how they depicted Nagomi, or how they did certain things where their framing just feels all wrong, this is just like, oh god, you completely missed the fucking point. That's how it feels like to me. They're so busy trying to make the episode that they end up just kind of not having much, which is, to me, kind of crazy, that the kiss of all things is kind of what you fuck up. I think everything else, I think they did fine. But I felt like they should have knocked the kiss out of the fucking park, and I don't really feel like they did. I think the stills visually are good. The stills visually are good. I don't think this is so fucking atrocious that it ruins the scene, right? I don't think this is so atrocious that it ruined the kiss, but the kiss just doesn't have the impact, which is kind of rough, you know? That's kind of rough. The kiss just doesn't have the same impact. It's not that it doesn't have the visuals. It absolutely fucking does. It's just the idea behind it just doesn't feel fully there. They stuck, it's one of those issues where they stuck to the manga too hard, and they just played it way too straight. When they needed to just take just some slight liberties. Because this is a different medium, and I understand, I know how to describe this. You know when you have video games that feel like they're kind of made to be a movie? They're kind of directed and visually conveyed to you in a way that kind of feels like you're like, oh yeah, this could be like a movie. You know, this kind of storytelling would work for a movie. But then when they adapt it to the movie, they just literally adapt the same fucking thing. And there's like nothing different about it. And you're like, well, why should I bother watching this when I could watch that? That's kind of the issue. Do they have the 3-angle kiss in the anime like the manga? It's more than 3 angles. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4 because this counts. This counts as part of it. So I think they had only 2. Let's look at that. Okay. So there's this kiss, right? So this is panel 1. This is just, it's just this. Okay. They have this one. Oh no, so it's only 2. It's only 2. And then it cuts straight to Chizuru zooming out. There, let me watch it again just to see how I feel. Maybe I'll change my mind. Let me just watch it again, see how I feel. Let me see how I feel. Maybe I'll just change my mind. Okay, play. Just the grunting. That's what's getting me. It's the grunting. That's what's getting me. It's the grunting. I think that's what. Okay, I think that's what fucked with me. It's ooh, I'm just hearing that from every character. So it's a little jarring. I think it would be so much more effective if they didn't do that. You can have a scene be silent. They don't say anything. You know, when you look at it in the manga, they don't fucking say anything. You could have no grunting. That's fine. Right? You could have the characters not grunting. It's okay. It's okay to not have the characters grunting. I think that's what got to me. It's like the thing people were bitching about with Final Fantasy VII Remake where some characters were grunting, but that actually comes off as natural. Like, they're just reacting. Whereas here, it's like, why are they grunting? They're supposed to be in shock. Oh my god, they destroyed her ass. They destroyed Chizuru's booty. Look at Chizuru's booty. They wrecked it. The grunt is a Japanese thing. No. Yes, you can have grunting. No, shut the fuck up. It's an anime thing. It's not a Japanese thing. It's an anime thing. It's not a Japanese thing. First off, shut the fuck up. Two, that's not my issue. My issue is that in the manga, they're not grunting. You can have them just react. You can have them just react and not have them grunt. Like there are parts where they grunt in the manga. That is a thing. I'm not saying that's not a thing. I'm saying it is a thing. It's just in that scene, I think if they just stared without saying a fucking word, without grunting, without making a sound, it would have been significantly more effective. Also, Jesus, what did they do to Chizuru's butt here? They tried to do what the manga did, but like she actually has an ass here. It's just that it's literally like it's curving on the swimsuit. It's literally she actually has an ass, but it's curving on the swimsuit. Here it looks like her ass is flat because of how they animated it. They still did the thing, but it needed to curve more. It needed more of a curve, and there needs to be a curve here. It's just not there. Sorry, I'm over here critiquing the art of the butt. This is the art of the booty. The peaches. Peaches, peaches, peachy, peaches, peaches. I see the problem. I know why a part of this didn't work for me. They skipped these pages. Okay. So they did this thing where they're like, I'm gonna stick to the manga to a T. Okay, sure, do your thing, boss. But then they skip the visual storytelling of her literally lowering down and the kiss literally drifting further from him, right? So they removed an aspect of the visual storytelling. What would have been more effective is, again, this is my problem. They should not have removed these. They shouldn't have moved these to the last chapter or the last episode. They should have kept these together. Because what it does is you go from her lifting her toes to her lowering them and then slowly drifting further away from him. That's just not there. They get straight to the kiss separating. It's too fast. I'm just certain of that. It's just too fast. They did it in reverse. They did it in reverse. They missed the fucking point. They did it in reverse. Instead of having her lower her toes and then drifting away and then in turn lowering her lips away from him, they do it in reverse. She pulls her lips away from him first and then lowers her toes. They didn't ruin the kiss. They didn't ruin the kiss. They just fucking missed the point. They didn't ruin it. It's not ruined. Stop saying it's ruined. I'm just a stickler, okay? I'm just a big fucking stickler for little details, all right? Just understand. It's not ruined. It's not ruined. It's just significantly lacking the massive impact it's supposed to have. That's all. It's not ruined. I don't think they ruined it. I just think it's significantly missing impact. And I'm explaining to you why it's missing impact. It's lacking motion. It's lacking stillness. It's lacking silence. When you read the manga, the effectiveness of it comes from the fact that not a single fucking line is uttered. Okay? Nobody fucking speaks. Until, like, right here where Kazuya reacts. Nobody fucking speaks. The only thing you hear is Kazuya grunting here. And nobody says a fucking word. Nobody even so much as, like, does anything. Time froze. I think that's the best way I can put it. They failed to capture the time froze effect. That's the best way I can put it. They failed to capture the time froze effect. There we go. That's all. It felt like time froze here when you're reading it in the manga. Everything just fucking froze. And then slowly, it's like the clock starts turning and moving again, and boom, we start moving again. Boom, it kicks in. Now we start moving. Everyone stopped reacting. Everybody started acting. Guys, it's not that crazy. Don't worry about the chat, okay? Don't worry about the chat. I'm just personally exploring my feelings when I'm talking about this, okay? I'm not saying it's ruined. I'm just saying the effect that is supposed to be present here, the time stopped. Like, it's like Dio just walked into the room and said, the world. Right? That just didn't happen. Right? I think that's my issue with it. It's the thing I said in the very beginning. It just kind of moves. There's no sense of time stopped. And I think the music does not help with that. You have this tune that's like continuously going in the background, right? You have this piano tune that's like actively moving. That's the problem. I think what they could have done, that would have been brilliant. No sound. Do the paneling. Kazuya grunts slightly. Then as Chizuru turns away, and the moment she starts speaking, kick in the piano. The moment she starts speaking, kick in the piano. Then when it pans to Mommy, and Mommy's mad, the piano starts to fade a little bit, right? It's not gone, it just starts to fade a little bit. Then Mommy pulls her bullshit, and then you start kicking into it, okay? Trust me, I get what you're saying. I don't feel like you do, but it's okay. I think Reiji didn't supervise this. Reiji mostly was there for the voice acting. That's pretty much it. Reiji was mostly there for the voice acting. He wasn't so much there for much of the supervision in the, like he wasn't really super involved with the animation team. It was kind of the same thing in season 3. Season 3, he just wanted them to add like a few little things. So there was like one change in season 3 where he had them add the extra scene where Chizuru goes in the bathroom and reacts to falling asleep on Kazuya's shoulder, and she sees like a little mark right here, which is a really cool thing to add. Like that's actually thematically very fitting and a cool bookend to the scene, because Chizuru starts that arc when they get on the train and they go on that trip. Chizuru starts that arc by looking in the mirror and then being frustrated. She ends the arc. She doesn't do this in the manga, but it's cool that he added it in the anime. She ends the arc by looking in the mirror and being frustrated. Except this time because she fell asleep. Right? So she's not frustrated with something that's out of her control. She's frustrated with herself. Anyways, let's continue. I bitched enough. Okay. Oh, you know where I think this music would have been perfect? Oh, I'm stupid. You know where I think this music would have been perfect, and they might play it later. We'll see. When Kazuya is in the bathroom thinking about how this felt like paradise. This music, that's that. That's where that should have played. Oh my god, look at the characters. They got wrecked. Okay. There's one thing I'm curious about, because they do this like zoom in with Nagomi. Oh, dude. They do this cool thing, and the Reiji does this cool thing in the manga where Nagomi's wrinkles seemingly dissipate, and she feels more alive than she's been in the entire scene. I don't think that's there in the anime. They're trying to do that, but it's not quite there. Kazi is so funny. Kazi is so funny looking. Oh, okay. Sorry. This shot got me. So here. Hold on a sec. Hold on. I'll show you. I'll show you why. Okay. So look at this shot. Look at this shot. So look at how they look here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna look at this again. Now look at this shot and look at what's gonna happen. She teleported. She fucking teleported. It's the framing. It's literally the framing. It's how they're framing it, and it looks awkward. But it makes it look like she teleported, especially because Kazi is supposed to be taller than her, and yet here they look about the same height. Kazi is literally supposed to be taller than her, and he's supposed to be like a little more to her edge, kind of to her side. So it makes it look like she teleported, and she also got taller, right? So like, look at this, and then see they're trying to do the same thing, right? They're trying, and it's a similar mistake here, but it's because of the paneling. Reiji here, it's like you could just tilt it a little bit, and it'll become very clear. With the anime, it's just a little more awkward because it's like a first-hand framing, so it just looks a little awkward. But he is a little behind her, like you can see, he is behind her. It just looks weird. I found how Mommy's angry in the anime kind of goofy. Not that it's bad. It's not that one's not particularly bad. I just kind of like more how it looks here. She's mad. Totally. But she's lost her nerve in a way that's kind of unique, right? The way she lost her nerve is a little different. It feels like all the control she had is now gone, and she's mad. Whereas in that one, she's just livid, right? She looks like fucking Thrag. She looks like she's just getting fucking upset. I like how Reiji panels this. I don't know. I don't know what to explain this. The anger feels more concentrated rather than like out of control. There's like a concentrated rage, right? That feels very personal. Right, like it's a very, very personal, concentrated rage that I think Mommy's almost not aware of, right? Whereas in the anime, it's almost like she's aware of her anger, she's aware of her rage. Here, it's almost like she's like literally not aware that she's angry. She literally is not looking at herself in the mirror, something like that. That's how I interpret it. The anime plays it just really straight. The anime is like, oh, she's just fucking mad, which it's fine. It's fine. They're just playing it straight. It still works. Look at the cute boy. Okay. Aw. Cute. Okay, there we go. This is more like it. This is more like it. I don't feel the cat energy from this. No, I don't know what it is. Let me check what it looks like in the manga. I found this panel in the manga fucking cute as shit. Like, cuteles padoodles. Yeah. Look at it. It's so cuteles padoodles. It's so, look at this. It's just not the same. They gave her the eyes, but her body her body didn't change. I think that's why it's not working for me. They gave her the eyes, but her body didn't change, so she doesn't like literally. Reiji made her chibi here, right? Reiji kind of made her somewhat chibi here, whereas here, her eyes changed, but she herself didn't become chibi-ish. So that's why that panel just didn't work for me personally. That's it. Taking it easy on the critiquing. Ruka got wrecked. How fitting. Ooh, I like that. Ooh. Yes. Ooh, that was good. I think they did a good job here. So Ruka starts saying wait, because Ruka, so again, I described this before, like when we were talking about last episode. What Ruka did, she didn't do it for Kazuya and Chizuru. She did it for Nagomi. I think that's a common misinterpretation that even I had when we initially started. She did it for Nagomi. She didn't do it for Kazuya and Chizuru. She wasn't shipping them. She was doing it specifically for Nagomi. She hadn't actually, she's not actually okay with it. So I think it's super interesting that you have Mommy say, wait a second, as Ruka's trying to say. She cuts Ruka off, right? It's so fitting that throughout the entire arc, Mommy frames herself as though she's advocating for Ruka. She's like, you could become the girlfriend, right? And what's fitting is that she wants Ruka to be on her side. And what does she do here? She cuts Ruka off, right? Ruka was going to say something, and she cuts Ruka off. In some ways, saving Ruka from herself. How fitting. Thematically speaking, she saves Ruka from herself. Because Ruka's about to do something really fucking stupid here. And she would have regretted it later. And she was just kind of reacting. But Mommy reacting instead, and actually reacting angry. I like that Aoyuki adds this anger to her voice. She's a little mad, and then she calms down, and she's like, "Oh shit, I was mad. I gotta calm down a sec." That's such a nice touch. I love that. I love that she sounded angry, and then she just calms down. She's like, "Oh no. I didn't see. No. I'm okay. Oh, she sounds so desperate. She's so desperate. I love it. She's so desperate. She closes her eyes. I love visually what they do here. I wish they did more of this. I wish the anime did more of this in scenes where the characters are talking. They're doing the correct thing here. Fuck, I wish they did more of this, where there's scenes where the characters are talking and they're supposed to have their eyes closed to convey a specific meaning to you. A lot of times what they'll do in those scenes is they'll start with the eyes closed and then their eyes will open and they'll keep talking. And I think that in some ways misses the point of what's meant to be conveyed here. However, here they're doing a really good job. Mommy closes her eyes and keeps them shut the whole time. I'm like, yes, do more of that. Give me more of that. I want more of that. She's closing her eyes because she doesn't want to see that. She wants to pretend that didn't fucking happen. She's like, oh, see, I didn't see anything. Nope, my eyes are fucking closed. I didn't see anything. Yeah, that's not real. Do more of this. This is good. Is it the same in the manga? If not, then fuck yeah. Or sorry, if it is the same, fuck yeah. Right? So Ruka was about to say wait, right? So we can see here, Ruka was about to say wait. Mommy interrupts her. How fitting, Mommy's been interrupting everybody in this entire time, but the one person she's seemingly advocating for, she interrupts her now. It's almost like she wasn't advocating for Ruka. It's almost like Mommy herself wanted Kazuya. It's almost like Mommy herself wanted Kazuya. It's almost like Mommy was the one who wasn't okay with this. She's advocating for Ruka, but it's bullshit. She's the one who wants to be with him. Right? I couldn't get a good look. Did you really do that? Again, eyes closed the whole time. Yes! Okay, good job, animators. What the fuck? Give me more of this! What the fuck? Give me more of this! This is good! What are you doing? Give me more of this! Also, sorry, real quick. Kibe has that fucking Hades nose. Who remembers Hades from Hercules? He has that fucking pointy ass nose. It looks like it'll fucking stab you. He literally has the pointy nose. And how fitting, she turns to Kibe. Kibe is the enforcer. She doesn't turn into Nagomi. Because Nagomi is the authority, right? So she turns to the enforcer. She turns to the guy who is somewhat of an equal to her, right? So she turns to the person who's somewhat of an equal to her, a person who's cynical like her. I think it's very thematically fitting that Mommy turns to Kibe, who's very cynical, while she's nihilistic. Thanks, Kibe. Thanks, Kibe. You're a real fucking bro. Kibe? Oh, I guess I didn't see it. Kibe! Bro! What the fuck, man? You've been an asshole the entire fucking time. Come on. Give your brother some fucking credit. Nope. You're too busy being shocked. Chizuru? Bet. Chizuru? Bet. And Wiz is getting muted for another 30 minutes. Okay, it's kind of funny. Okay, it's kind of funny. Poorly timed, but kind of funny. No. Guys, they made it look like they reacted to his boner. Guys, he made it look like he reacted to his boner. Guys. They go from nailing a scene perfectly to, like, misrepresenting a scene horribly. They made it look like they just reacted to his boner. Bro, they fucking made it look like he was reacting to his boner. Oh my god, it better not be the same in the manga. Oh my god, it better not be the same in the manga. I swear to Christ. Okay, she kisses him. Oh, it does look like that in the manga. It does look just like that in the manga. I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. It looks just like that in the manga. Oh, I'm in shambles. That's hilarious. Oh, it was not a mistake. They were just following Reiji's lead. It wasn't a mistake. They were following Reiji's lead. Fucking Ruka's reaction is the best. That's just someone who saw someone pop a willy. That is someone who saw someone pop a willy. I'm fucking in shambles. I'm in fucking shambles. Okay, Ruka, okay, the grunting kind of works here. Oh, Kazuya died. To the floor he goes. I'm pretty sure I saw it that time. Mommy, fuck! Fuck! Oh, wait. I gotta see how she looks in the manga. Oh, no, oh, no, it looks cuter in the manga. Oh, she looks cuter in the manga. She looked more upset. Yeah, she's like more... Yeah, she's like more mad. She's like more mad here, right? But here, she's like, oh my god. She's blown away. She's like, holy shit, it did happen. And I think thematically it makes sense because she literally forces Mommy's eyes wide open. Oh my god, I love how she looks here. Look at how Mommy looks here. This is actually really funny. This is really funny. Oh, Oh my god, the fucking, oh, the intimacy is like all not there. Fuck. No, I love how girlish she looks here. She looks like a little girl here. She's like alive again. I I wish they didn't give her the lip curl and didn't make her mad. I'm okay with being mad in the first scene. Here, I don't know. I think they missed the point. I think they kind of missed the point here. She looks alive again. She looks like a little girl again. She looks like a kid. It's almost meant to be adorable. Everything she thought was happening is wrong. And she's like, holy shit, love's real. That's kind of more how I read this. She's like, holy shit. Oh my god, it's real. Like, that's kind of how it reads to me. She's kind of like flabbergasted. And more of just like, oh my god, holy shit, how can she do that? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, holy shit, how can she do that? How is she able to do that? That's crazy. I could never do that. That's kind of how I read this scene. Whereas here, I see more frustration, upset. Like they're adding like twitches of anger where there isn't supposed to be any. And then, of course, they get interrupted, and they're like, okay, guys, enough. Enough, guys. You've been fucking kissing in public. This is weird. Yeah. Okay, Nagomi. Oh my god, her face. Oh my god. It looks like she has a droopy face. Dude. Oh man, this is brutal. They did not get a second pass on this. They just drew this and threw it in there. They did not have anyone check this. That's brutal. I'm going to change and come to my room. Droopy face. It's like, have you ever seen someone with a part of their face that's like loose because the muscles in their face isn't working? So one face looks like this, it looks normal, and then the other face is like this. You know, it's like droopy. So it literally looks like that. That's kind of what her face looked like. It literally looks like the muscles were like off and her eyes were misaligned. After that, we explained everything. Not with the usual lies and things we made up on the spot, but how we met, how we went to the same college and were next door neighbors. And how she was... We told her everything. We didn't lie. How she was an actress. Oh, look. Hey, we didn't lie to her. We just lied about one particular thing. We told her the truth about everything else. How we ended up making a movie, and what happened to Sayuri-san's last moments. Mizuhara handled most of the talking, with Gran asking questions here and there. Mizuhara handled most of the talk. Okay. Mizuhara would then reply to them, getting as close to the truth as possible. All I could do was sit there and nod along every so often. God, he literally can't talk anymore. Oh, poor guy. That's brutal. In the next 2 hours, we ended up coming clean about almost all of it. All but the lie that we'd been dating since a week before Sayuri-san passed. They lied about one single thing. It all adds up now. I'm satisfied. This is the sad part about this ending. Nagomi still couldn't believe and needed to hear actual proof. And look at what she's going to do. She even admits it. I said it was for Sayuri-san, but I jumped to conclusions and condemned you. She fucking admits it. Kazuya just literally told her we told her most of the truth. Almost everything we were saying was the truth, except for one lie. And Nagomi straight up admitted that she fucking did this. Pardon this old coot for her momentary lapse in judgment. Oh, this was not a momentary lapse in judgment. This was not a momentary lapse in judgment. At least Nagomi's taking accountability, not full accountability. No, there's some other issues. No. She apologized, but there's a bigger problem. And later parts of the manga prove it. Later parts of the manga absolutely fucking prove it. In particular, the scene where Nagomi rents Chizuru, and she apologizes to her for her judgment about Chizuru's job. No, there's absolutely an issue here. Still, 100%. But Nagomi just doesn't know. She hasn't processed what she did. Nagomi has absolutely not processed what she did, and there's still more. There's absolutely still more. Think of it like this. What Hawaiians resolved was kind of like the surface level issue, right? What Hawaiians resolved was the surface level issue. What it actually did, and I think what Reiji realized, because the arc he does after this was not fully planned. The 3 months was, and what happened after, how the 3 months ends was completely planned. What was not planned was them living together. That was not planned. He wanted to try that. This was something he really wanted to try. And he hadn't fully planned it through, and he kind of winged a bit of it. And I think what makes this so effective is that it gives it time. It gives the characters time to breathe. And then it starts showing you how there has been a lot of fucking issues, a lot of unaddressed issues, a lot of big problems that are not addressed. And slowly but surely what Reiji's been doing is building these problems and like bubbling them to the surface. What Hawaiians did, the brilliance of Hawaiians, is that while it gave you a resolution that you thought you got, in reality it introduced the real problems. It introduced the real issues. The real problems of the situation. How Nagomi and Kibe have failed Kazuya and Chizuru in significant ways that they have not addressed or accounted for. Much like how Chizuru is trying to address how, in many ways, she was very unfair to Kazuya in the early parts of the series, where, yeah, they did agree to it, but at the same time, she technically was using him. What she doesn't realize is he was kind of using her too. That's the thing. It's like they kind of both technically used each other. It wasn't just without, like, it's not like she's the only one who had ulterior motives, and she was pretty fucking blunt about it and pretty straightforward, but he also had ulterior motives and things he was going through. And I think the issue is that while the characters are trying to address these things, they're addressing the wrong problems. That's what the story did. The story essentially highlighted there is a big fucking problem. The issue is they don't know what that problem is. They just know there's a problem. Every character realized there was an issue with the way they were approaching things. And every character tries to change. Every character tries to change in different ways. Everyone is using each other. Well, this is the thing. We all do that in real life. That's the thing. We kind of all do that in real life. That, like, if you didn't have a friend that you used in some way, shape, or form, you wouldn't have any friends. I'm just dead serious with you. You've every single person has probably used a friend in some way, shape, or form. We all use people. It's just natural. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. Like, that's not the issue. Like, if these two did not, like, seriously, like, both of these characters used each other. The problem is that Chizuru is looking at it purely from a monetary and logical perspective, thinking she took all of Kazuya's money because Mommy convinced her this was the case. Mommy literally got into Chizuru's head that this was the case, that she took all his money. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. While they did start from a monetary perspective and it was unbalanced, to say Chizuru just blatantly took his money and she knew his feelings is bullshit. She didn't know his feelings at the start of the series. She was a mess too. And Kazuya knew that Chizuru wasn't going to quit her job because of her dream. They had an agreement. That's the thing that people don't seem to fucking want to address ever when they want to blame Chizuru for the monetary issue. Chizuru was like uber straightforward with him. Right? Chizuru was like uber straightforward with him. She's like, it literally chapter 2, she's just like, I can't quit my job. I cannot quit my job. I need this job for my dream. And then she tells him about the dream. And then when they start getting closer, she starts doing what he wants through rental. That's the beauty of it, is that you think, oh, Chizuru's just taking his money. So no, because when she starts taking the money and she knows he's doing it to support her dream, what does she do? When they go on rental dates, they literally go on dream dates. So every time they go on a rental date, she just like absolutely does whatever the fuck he wants. She literally makes his dreams come true, as he's helping her make her dreams come true. It's mutual. That's the beauty of the early parts of the series. People look at it in a very, very superficial way. They're just like, oh, Chizuru's just taking his money. No, she literally starts sharing experiences with him. She starts bringing him closer into her life outside of just rental, right? So they start doing things outside of rental. They start interacting. They start talking and meeting each other. And they get even closer in the movie arc where they get like literally just start interacting outside of rental completely. Rental just kind of tossed to the fucking wayside, even though it's the big motivation of the arc. And people just kind of ignore that in favor of the fact that Chizuru just took his money in the early parts of the series, but she didn't really take it. They had an agreement, and she tried to break that agreement at several points. She asked him directly, and he wouldn't, like, explain. So they had this weird limbo situation, which Chizuru feels really bad about. She thought for the much of the story she was using him. I don't think she was using him as much as she thought, because in some ways he was doing the same thing to her. Congrats, who cares? I think that's what Reishi's kind of trying to build to. It's like, we both did it. Shut up. We both did it. We're both shitty people. Great. At least we're shitty together. I think that's what he's building to. Like this idea that Kazuya is going to look like the villain now in the manga. And then Chizuru's going to be like, no, we both did shitty things. Shut up. Who cares? Doing a shitty thing is just being human. No. It's not rage baiting purposes. They actually genuinely believe it. No. They need to. Look, it's as simple as this. Anyone who works a job that even remotely looks like a prostitute, a sex worker, or some sort of porn thing, instantly they're taking your money. But then they'll go, pay money to watch that shit. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. It's literally just being bigoted towards sex workers. That's literally it. Chizuru looks kind of like a sex worker. Chizuru looks like she knows exactly what she's doing because she looks mature and she looks like she's under control. In reality, she's not, and she doesn't fully know what she's doing, and she's kind of a mess too. And she doesn't know how that Kazuya has all these feelings for her, and that it's weird. She's a little confused. Kazuya says super fucking romantic things to her, and she gets really confused because she's just like, damn, okay. You're laying it on pretty fucking thick. Okay. Right? She tries to get clarity and then he never clears it up. And she's like, is Kazuya just being a really big romantic? Right? And that's what the interesting part about the current story is that I think it's kind of about emotional bonds where I was watching this interesting video where, Dr. K was talking about this is kind of how I felt for the longest time. What Reishi was writing for the longest time is that Kazuya and Chizuru essentially built an emotional bond outside of just fully knowing the person. So they have this deep shared connection. They have shared trauma, they have shared experiences, they have shared journeys. They went through a lot of stuff together. They experienced a lot of stuff together. So they literally have an emotional bond, an emotional connection that goes past just knowing the person. Okay? That's why their bond holds even when they can't communicate with each other. That's why it holds. At the same time, it's now becoming a shackle because Kazuya isn't letting Chizuru know him, and he's forgetting who Chizuru is. right? So the emotional bond is now a shackle because Kazuya is unwilling to build a new bond and expand the bond, dig even deeper with emotional with like her getting to know him. He's not letting her getting to know him. Anyways, let's continue. I'll read the comments in a bit. I apologize for doubting you. Ow. You caused this mess by not giving Mommy Dono the news. This was my issue with Nagomi. She blames Kazuya for not giving Mommy the news, instead of recognizing that what Mommy was doing was very intentional. She still blames Kazuya. Even to the very end, she still blames him, which in turn makes Chizuru feel worse. Because she's not considering Kazuya's feelings, she's saying, you just fucked up, which in turn makes Chizuru feel worse. Because he's her fucking boyfriend. Why are you hitting her boyfriend? The fuck? Okay. Then Mommy's just hiding in the corner. Look at this little shit. Whoa. Whoa. Girl, you're getting wrinkles. Girl's getting wrinkles. She's so mad. Let's see what it looks like in the manga. It's got me a little curious. This is the one thing I don't like about the anime when they do this kind of line work. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan of this stuff, right? When they do this kind of line work on the characters, I don't like that. I like the simplicity of Reiji's art. It makes them look cute, but also kind of menacing. And she kind of looks, I don't know, she's not supposed to look this way. I don't think so, personally. Like, I don't fucking think Mommy's supposed to look this way. I think Mommy is supposed to she's literally losing her edge. That's kind of the point. Mommy's literally losing her edge. She's getting color back in her eyes. She's becoming more human. She's literally not a husk of a person anymore. She's getting her emotions back. And they convey that to some degree with her blushes, right? The blushes kind of convey that here. But I don't like this. I never liked that. This is something they've done since like season 1. I've never liked it. But let's continue. Okay, there's the food. There is one thing I did want to check regarding the manga itself. So, okay. Explained. Yeah, I think, see, this is the interesting part. I think in this moment, Chizuru didn't really think too much about when Nagomi hit Kazuya. In this moment, I think Chizuru didn't think very much about when Nagomi hit Kazuya. I think that's really interesting. It shows how Chizuru has not processed how she wants to protect him. That's really interesting. Okay. It shows how Chizuru didn't really process how she wanted to protect him. I was really curious about that because she's all smiles and everything is fine. And I think it's because she repaired the relationship with Nagomi, which was her biggest hurdle. And I think that's why Chizuru is kind of like happy here, right? Chizuru is shadowed out, and then Kazuya is like in the back, but she still doesn't see him, right? Kazuya is ironically a little invisible to Chizuru here. She literally doesn't see him. Yeah, this Reiji was literally foreshadowing the 3-month time skip right here. Right, Reiji was literally foreshadowing the 3-month time skip right here. Chizuru still doesn't see him. She doesn't react when Nagomi hits him. She doesn't protect him here. And I don't think she realized why she protected him in the first place. It's showing you how Chizuru's emotions are already jumbled up. She's doing this right now for her conscious mind is doing it for family. Her conscious mind is doing it for family. Her subconscious mind is doing it for him, and she's not fully aware that she's doing it for him. And she's not processing that. I think that's really interesting. And then after Mommy actually starts making her process that. Really subtle, but Kibe left. Kibe went on a walk and just didn't come back. I think it's really thematically fitting that Kibe goes on a walk alone to start doing some self-reflecting. I think Kibe is kind of like somewhat the core of all of this in some fascinating respect, right? Nagomi started this arc. Chizuru and Kazuya are like, you know, the emotional thing we're rooting for, but there's a special place for Kibe in this arc. There's a fascinating place in this arc for Kibe. In particular, how he essentially gave up being Kazuya's friend. Not in how you're thinking, not how you're thinking. Hold on. What I mean is that he doesn't think he's a good friend anymore. And he thinks he doesn't understand his friend, and maybe Kazuya and him aren't really friends here. And he's kind of like lost somewhere where they are. He's isolated now. Kibe doesn't know how to feel about the situation anymore. And I think this is really important because after this arc, Kibe goes on a big self-reflection journey where he starts just kind of fucking off and not really interacting with Kazuya. He doesn't talk about Chizuru the way he used to. A big thing that Reiji does in this arc is he nods back to the very beginning of the series when Kibe and Kuri first show up in chapter 2 or 3, when Kazuya, or no, I think it's like 4 or 5, sorry, when Mommy comes back. And remember, at this point, Kazuya and Mommy had broken up. And how do Kibe and Kuri talk about Mommy? They're checking her out. Right? They have like those leering eyes, creepy bullshit. And it's gross. It's gross as fuck. And Kazuya just like turns to Kibe in chapter 1 and he's like, "Aren't you the one who's like looking at her with creepy eyes? What the fuck are you saying? Why are you acting like this?" And he's like, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna stop us?" Right? Kibe says some like really terrible stuff to his friend. Here, this actually happens again. How fitting. Right after Kazuya and Chizuru had their little falling out, and Kazuya thought he was rejected, and chapter 218 happens. In chapter 219, when Chizuru is walking up to them, Kibe starts describing her boobs, her legs, her figure. He's talking about her in like very objectifying ways. And Kazuya's right there. And bro, why are you talking? Like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know that things didn't work out. But even if they were dating, why are you talking about her like that right next to her boyfriend? I would be like, dude, don't talk about my girlfriend like that. Why are you fucking objectifying my girlfriend right next to me? And it makes Kazuya in that moment feel like shit because Kibe's not looking at him. It really shows how Kibe was kind of a terrible friend to Kazuya, and he just did not notice it. In contrast, Nagomi is noticing how she's been terrible to Chizuru. This is where kind of an interesting dynamic flip happens. Kibe starts becoming more aware of how he's been treating Chizuru and how he's been looking at her later in the cohabitation. And Nagomi is now slowly but surely starting to become aware of how she's been treating Kazuya. And that is, I think, the thing that Reiji's building to. How these characters have been interacting with each other and interacting passively with other characters and treating them in certain ways. How Nagomi's been treating Kazuya like absolute garbage. and how Kibe has been objectifying Chizuru and looking at women in a horrible fucking way while being supportive of an understanding of women. You know, that a lot of men don't recognize this paradox in themselves, where they treat women kind of like crap, even though they tell themselves they're good people. In that same way, there's a lot of women like Nagomi who treat people like Kazuya like crap because Kazuya, it looks like an incompetent man to them. When maybe Kazuya wasn't so fucking incompetent. Maybe this is actually kind of your fucking fault. See what I mean? So there's a really fascinating dynamic being explored here in terms of gender. And Reiji has been talking a lot about gender and how people like look at each other, how some women look at men, how men look at women, and how both sides are fucking up. Think about it. He's nothing special. He's not handsome. It's literally Kibe talking about himself. Exactly. He is talking about himself. Kibe is talking about himself. He calls Kazuya nothing special because he views himself as nothing special. He's not talking about Kazuya. He's talking about himself. Kibe projects a lot onto Kazuya. Okay, let's continue. Look at these two. I actually, okay, you guys are going to hate me for this. I know there's some people who just don't like this ship. I think Kuri and Ruka is a cute ship. I'm going to be real with you. I think Kuri and Ruka is a cute ship. Because Kuri would love Ruka the way she wants to be loved. But she's so busy chasing after Kazuya that, you know, and it's not fair. It's in some ways, it's not fair to Ruka because, like, when you love someone, of course, you're not going to just pick someone else. But literally, Ruka's just not looking around. Ironic. The working of society can cause friction in the closest relationships. The workings of society can cause friction in the closest relationships. And Nagomi says we're back to square one when they're... Ooh. Well, we are not back to square one, madam. But let's see what she says in the manga. They reverse Ruka and Kuri's position, and look at them. Look at, they're so fucking cute. Things are back to normal. Her eyes are closed. Things are not back to normal. No matter how intimate a relationship, there are times when you must bend to the whims of society and hide things. Wait. What does the official translation say? Hold on a fucking second. What does the official translation say? Because if she said that line, oh, Reiji's cooking. It really shows how even still Nagomi still has her like rigid beliefs. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so should be volume 27. Okay, what does she say? Sounds like we're back where we started then. Just goes to show how no matter how close people are, the willy ways of the world can lead to keeping secrets. What a stupid way to translate it. What a stupid fucking way to translate it. I'ma go check with some Japanese fans about that line. Kuri is the real best, bro. Kuri is the GOAT. Kuri is the GOAT, okay? Kuri is awesome. He is such a bro. He is such a bro. Kuri is like actually Kazuya's bro. Like straight up. Yeah, it shows how they can, it's so fascinating because it shows how they can be understanding. And yet it shows how they are still in some ways very rigid in their beliefs. It's a paradox. It's a beautifully orchestrated paradox because that is people. We are paradoxical like this. We can be some of the kindest people in the world who are welcoming and understanding of others. And yet we can also be really rigid in our beliefs. Really like misunderstanding of others. And even in the moment where we think we're understanding of other people, we're still quite rigid about it. And this is perfectly reflected in Nagomi and Kibe. Grandmas are the best. Forget the other girlfriends. Team grandma. What? What? Okay. Okay, Curry's gonna come up to Kazuya now. Get the fuck down here, bro. Explain it to me like I'm 5. No, dude. Kazuya's like, Chizuru just played it wrong. Curry's like, no! Because you dipshit! The music here is really interesting. There's some weird, goofy fucking music here. I like it. You're a moron! I'm not touching with this with a 10-foot pole. I dropped some nuts on the floor, he said. Yeah, dude, you're fucking wiener! just flat on the floor. We dropped some nuts, Nagomi. Which, by the way, really funny line. So I don't know for those who don't know, Kazuya's name sounds like an acorn. And that's intentional. Kazuya's acorns, the whole thing in Japan, there's like a saying in Japan where acorns are all look the same. There's like the saying in Japan that all acorns literally look the same. So like the whole idea behind Kazuya's name is that he's literally supposed to look super generic. And if you look at his hair, he dyed his hair brown like an acorn. Get it? Yeah, so no, Kazuya's name is literally meant to allude to like an acorn, and he's meant to appear really generic and like there's nothing interesting about him. That's how the name is meant to sound like. But then you read the full name's meaning, right? The full name's meaning is completely different. Like literally peace and harmony shared under a tree. Like that's a beautiful fucking name, right? So no, that's kind of like the idea here. Like, oh, we're just picking up some nuts. I dropped some nuts because Kazuya dropped his nuts. He dropped his fucking acorn. Okay, we're gonna cut to Chizuru in the women's restroom. Oh, they skipped the little thing. Oh yeah, in the manga, there's like a scene where Chizuru's like pulling up her stuff and like walking out of the restroom. They changed that. Yeah, so they removed this scene where she's just getting up and exiting the restroom and washing her hands. Almost like symbolically, like she got rid of the filth. As weird of an analogy as that sounds, it makes some sense. Reiji uses this like motif with the restroom with Chizuru regularly. With Chizuru literally having her pants down in the restroom. So it's very fitting that you see this. Chizuru is vulnerable. Her pants are literally down. Get it? And then wabam, Baruka walks the fuck in. It's meant to in some ways reflect how the bathroom is kind of where you're vulnerable and like you know you need comfort in the fucking restroom. You don't want to be fucking confronted. Oh, Ruka. Oh, it's playing Ruka's theme. It's playing a remix of Ruka's theme. You cucked me. What if Kazuya really falls for you now? It's so interesting. Ruka perceives Kazuya falling for her from a kiss. Isn't it fascinating how Ruka's entire perception of how a relationship can be formed is if Chizuru kissed him? Not an emotional bond, not a connection. No, if she kissed him. She literally views it. It's literally the thing we read the other day from that person who was talking about Arya. Is it Arya? I'm curious if I'm like mispronouncing it. Is it Aira? Arya? Isn't her last name Shiratori? I don't know if I'm because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Ken just calls her Shiratori-san. Is it Arya? Am I saying it right? Now I'm like doubting myself. Now I'm doubting myself. Anyways, no, it's literally the thing we were describing yesterday. Where here, I'll just put it up. I gotta play some Smash Brothers sometime on stream. I don't know why. Okay, view your channel live. Okay. Okay, so I'll just read what I wrote here. Or sorry, what this person wrote. Like if you guys remember from last stream, this is how Ruka looks at it. This is how her world has always worked. Popularity, effort, being the best. So she approaches, we're going to say Kazuya here, the same way, trying to prove she is a better option without really considering his feelings. And we're going to read what it says. It's sad and messed up that she seems to still think the same way as she did the first time she tried to force a kiss on him. That a confession is sealed with a kiss, and the guy has to accept it. Oh, Kazuya's just going to fall in love with Chizuru now that she kissed him. What if he just falls in love with you as if a kiss is how people fall in love, right? It's a very childish look at things, right? She believes she can make him fall for her because she earned him. Okay. So sorry. Bro, you have Kazuya's villain laughter. Do I? I'll have to see where that is. All I want is 3 walls and a locked door, not open urinals with short walls to my neighbor. I can randomly make eye contact while peeing. Toilets don't need to be communal. Yeah, no, it's literally the restroom. This place of like that's supposed to be a place of privacy is now shared between people, and they're abusing Chizuru's vulnerability. It's very intentional that this happens in the restroom for Chizuru when she's literally stepping out of the restroom as she just like peed or something, right? She just needs a fucking minute of peace of mind, right? Dude, just let me shit in peace. Just let me piss in peace. And she fucking can't. She can't even do that. Right? She can't even empty her goddamn bladder in peace. Right? That literally Ruka runs into her in the restroom. Didn't you encourage Kazuya back then? Ooh, I like how Ruka's I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad. Do you want to know why I'm mad? They just did the thing I said to do before. Fuck. They just did the thing I said to do before. Ruka rushes in. It starts playing her theme. Ruka's spouting off, yelling at Chizuru, saying all of this shit. The moment Chizuru says, I'm sorry, the song cuts off. All of Ruka's fire from her theme cuts off. It's literally what I wanted. So they can do it. So they can do it. So they know how to do it. Fuck. Bro, so they know how to do it. And they don't. They do it for Ruka. Ruka stops. Wait, what? Ruka clocked it. Ruka got stopped in her tracks and realized, I'm being an asshole. So she turns away, plays the tsundere card, pretending like, oh, why are you sad all of a sudden? Ruka doesn't even consider Chizuru's pain here. And she clocked that. She realized that. This moment in the manga is like one of my favorites because of how Ruka just like starts screaming at Chizuru, like fucking yelling at her. And Chizuru says, sorry. And Ruka just stops for a second. You see it right here. She's like, oh. And then she's like, no, why am I feeling bad for her? Right? Why am I feeling bad for her? It shows Ruka can feel bad. Ooh! You're seeing her bigotry! Yes, you're seeing her bigotry. Look at... Oh. Look at this bigotry. Listen to this. And this rental girlfriend crap can't be called work in the first place. Look at this little fucking bigot. Look at this little fucking bigot. Look at this little piece of shit. Rental girlfriends can't even be called work in the first place. Shut the fuck up, you privileged little rich prick. Shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sorry, Jaws. If you ever watch this, I'm sorry. But mommy is absolutely being a privileged little fuck. 100%. Right? She's projecting onto Chizuru her own insecurities. Which Reiji knows what he's saying, right? Where do you get off calling this work, claiming this is all rental girlfriend crap? Even a 5-year-old could make up a better excuse. And if this is your idea of a joke, then stop because nobody's laughing. They really dialed in on the bigotry with mommy in the anime. If this is a joke, it's not at all funny. Stop it right this instant. Oh my God, oh my God, the screaming is so visceral. And I think it's super thematically fitting that Ruka is on Chizuru's side because she was a rental girlfriend. Mommy does not understand Ruka. Hey, take it easy. I can't stand the way you look down on people. You whisper your sweet nothings and wash your hands of the guilt. Look at this Reiji understands how people look at sex workers so well. Reiji understands how people look at sex workers so fucking well. right? Listen to this fucking bigotry. It's all just a disguise. It's all just a disguise for their own jealousy. They're literally just fucking jealous of sex workers. They're literally just jealous of sex workers because they get to have the thing they can't have. They get to do the thing they can't do. They get to be surrounded by all these people who desire them physically, and they are jealous of that. They are jealous of these people because they view them as superior. So what do? They try to frame them as though they're inferior to them. They go after sex workers. Mommy roasting pretty hard. Mommy's not roasting shit. She's just showing how much of a bigot she is. You just kissed your own client, you know. How are you any different from a shady prostitute? Look at Chizuru. Look at Chizuru get mad. I love this in the manga. She actually gets livid. Look at Chizuru just gets fucking... She's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your horse shit. Fuck your stupid, bigoted horse shit. Like, I love that she just lost her shit here. Chizuru just got mad. Oh, the grip. I think there's something wrong with you. No, she didn't say I think there's something wrong with you. She says you're acting weird. No, she said hen. Something is weird with you. Right? Chizuru says there's something, you're being weird. How about you stop lying to yourself? Do you realize how weird it is that you're this obsessed with Kazuya-san? I really am sorry about today. I know it's unacceptable. Oh, look at this. I feel so bad for her. No, what you did is not unacceptable. Shut the fuck up. No, she made Chizuru feel horrible for doing the right thing. She made this is what fucking bigots do to sex workers, dude. They make them feel horrible for doing the right thing. Fuck you. Straight up, seriously, if you fucking hate sex workers, if you hate rental work, if you fucking hate these people who do these kinds of work, get the fuck out of my stream. Fuck you. I'll admit that this goes beyond the scope of work. All I can do is ask that you keep a secret from my agency. If you think I'm being defiant, so be it. She's willing to get down on her knees and say sorry for the rental thing. But when it comes to Kazuya, I think it can wait until after you've come to terms with your own feelings. They translated it weird. Because Crunchyroll does weird fucking translations. So let's read what she says here. God damn, look at the way she fucking grips her. Look at the way Chizuru just fucking grips her. And see, this is the thing. This is the thing. Please understand, Chizuru's holding the fuck back. No, Chizuru would destroy Mommy. And I mean that physically. Chizuru is not only taller than Mommy, she knows self-defense. She could actually fucking throw Mommy and like beat the shit out of her. But she doesn't. She restrains herself. Right? Please think about that. Chizuru could wreck Mommy. She restrains herself. She speaks with a formal, respectful tone. She calls her out on her bullshit. And she doesn't swing. Please, I need you to pay attention to that. Mommy is grabbing her, shaking her, threatening her, literally throwing bigoted remarks at her. And what does Chizuru do? She grabs her arm, tells her you're being weird, apologizes to her, admits that she did something wrong, and then calls Mommy out for her horseshit. Imagine telling your abuser, I'll get down on my knees and fucking apologize if that's what you want. Who's being the bigger person here? Who's being the bigger person here? Right? Chizuru is being a much bigger person than Mommy here, because Mommy is out here yelling, screaming, acting like a petulant fucking child, a spoiled little rich brat who's just mad she's not getting what she wants. Whereas this person is who was hurt by her, mind you, who was abused and hurt by her, not only speaks to her with a formal tone, the prostitute of this scene, the one who's being called a prostitute, the one who's being told her work amounts to fucking nothing less than sex work, speaks with a formal, respectful tone, gets her to back the fuck up, and tells her, you should seriously think about how you truly feel first. Slaps her hand away, walks away, and says, excuse me. Who's the pathetic person here? Right? Who's actually pathetic here? The girl who by all terms and like by any metrics, Chizuru should have every right to absolutely thrash Mommy. I mean fucking throw her. Like literally judo throw this girl. Right? By every metric, Chizuru should have the right to just judo through her. Just get her the fuck out of the way. You don't even have to fucking explain yourself. You don't even need to apologize. Why the fuck should Chizuru need to apologize? And yet she does. And yet, she speaks modestly, respectfully. She even admits to her own faults. And then tells her to actually think about herself for a second. She doesn't even tell Mommy she's a piece of shit. She just tells her, think about your feelings first, and then walks away. Mad respect. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could have that kind of restraint. That is impossible levels of restraint. That is impossible levels of restraint. I would not have that kind of restraint. And Chizuru is restraining herself. You know Chizuru wants to fucking let loose at Mommy. You know she wants to fucking scream at her. She looks mad. She looked livid here. She raises her voice. And even then, when she raises her voice, she's being respectful. And I love this particular shot Reiji does here. He pans to Chizuru's feet, literally showing, as she says, I'm willing to get on my knees and say sorry. Like literally the fucking, that shit where you like get on the floor and say sorry. And Mommy is like, she would, like, because Mommy's been framing Chizuru as the villain this whole time. And yet the villain is willing to get down on her knees and degrade herself to someone like this. To a piece of, like, because Mommy knows she's a piece of crap here, right? Chizuru's willing to get down on the floor and degrade herself for someone like this. While Mommy was telling her, you look down on everyone. And so what does Reiji do? He pans to the floor. He shows Chizuru's feet on the floor. She's willing to get down on the fucking floor, this dirty ass floor, and say sorry. To a piece of crap like her. Who's the villain here? Mommy's bigoted, idiotic beliefs. Or Chizuru, who's willing to get down on the floor and say sorry to someone who straight up doesn't fucking deserve it. By any metric. Mommy has the social high ground. What social high ground? Mommy doesn't have any high ground. Mommy doesn't have any high ground. She looks like she has a social high ground. She doesn't. She's an asshole. Literally, if you see this like properly for what it is, it's not a moral thing. It's not simply a moral thing versus society thing. This is literally calling society out for what it is. The society the society would pick Mommy here. Right? The society would pick Mommy here. And they would think Mommy's in the right. Mommy's not in the right. Not by any metric. It's not simply a moral high ground or whatever fucking high ground. No. Mommy is framing herself as though she's in the right. She's not in the right about anything. She's not doing this for any moral fucking reason, for any social fucking reason. Get the fuck out. No. Yeah, Chizuru broke the rules of her thing. Yeah, so. And what are you doing, mommy? Oh, you're not abusing your privilege? Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't get your dad's privilege and power and authority to get into Hawaiians for free? Oh, sorry, you didn't have to pay a fucking dime to go to Hawaiians and not do anything? Oh, so you get to cheat perfectly fine and not face any fucking consequences for your actions. But the moment a rental girlfriend steps out of line, oh no, she's the terrible person. I'm sorry, who's the one with the social high ground again? I'm sorry, who's the one? Yeah, no, it's, yeah, so rich people get to not pay any fucking taxes. And literally just be rich and just keep getting more and more money and take all of our money. But then if we so much as do one thing wrong, if we so much as miss our taxes once, we go to fucking jail and the IRS fucking destroys us. Oh yes, that's totally fucking normal. Yes. Yes, the rich person totally has the social high ground here. Abso-fucking-lutely. No. No. Mommy doesn't have social high ground here. Get the fuck out. Chizuru shouldn't even be apologizing to her. And yet she is. Chizuru is the one with the social and moral high ground. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. Didn't mean to tell you to shut the fuck up, but like, I'm just, this is kind of, this reasoning irritates me. No. Mommy is unfathomably fucking privileged. No, mommy's unfathomably fucking privileged. She just gets to do fucking whatever. And it doesn't impact her at all. She's not the one who has to fucking work and have to worry about her job and then get on her knees and apologize for her job so she doesn't lose it. Because mommy doesn't need to fucking work. Yeah. Mommy's dad is abusive to her. Doesn't change the fact that she absolutely uses the privilege he gives her. She's never had to work a day in her fucking life. Mommy has never had to work a day in her fucking life. She's beyond fucking privileged. Reiji literally visually does this in Hawaiians, where when Chizuru is running around worried about what mommy's gonna do, she goes to a church. She sits at the stair steps of a church that she cannot access because the only way you can get into that church is either one, a special event, or two, if you rent the place out for marriage. And Chizuru does not have that kind of money. In contrast, mommy is in her own room, a room with 2 beds. Mind you, a room with 2 beds. She doesn't need 2 beds, and she gets a room with 2 beds, sitting on her bed, texting. She oozes privilege, whereas Chizuru can't even enter a fucking church because it's been commodified. What I meant is that mommy has the backup of society, but Chizuru has the backup of trying to do the right thing, moral POV. Oh. I feel like that's a little different from social and societal. So maybe if you said, like, maybe the societal high ground, I would have agreed with you. Social and societal are 2 different things, because social is just you talking to people. Societal, I can maybe agree with you. Yeah, if you said mommy had the societal high ground, yeah, I could maybe agree with you, for sure. But if you said mommy had the social high ground, that's a little different. Social and societal aren't necessarily the same thing. Societal, absolutely. Societal, absolutely. Mommy has all the societal high ground, 100 fucking %. And Reiji does not shy away from showing how fucking privileged she is. She is mad privileged. And she's enforcing that privilege onto Chizuru, who's just fucking trying to do her best. And everyone's on her fucking case. Oh, I like that. Oh, I need you to hear this. No. I need you to hear this. I don't like how mommy looks in this shot. So I'm not a big fan of how mommy looks here. So I'm going to show you how she's supposed to look. She's not supposed to look angry. She looks calm. She's supposed to look calm. Because she looked herself in the mirror and realized what she is. The manga makes the fucking translation makes it look funny. Shit. Shit. Instead of but I like the vocal direction. I'll let you guys hear the vocal direction. I like the vocal direction, but I don't like how she looks here. She looks upset and mad. No, I like the reflection here. She's kind of just stopped. She kind of just stopped. And she just looked in the mirror. I think it's really important that this is the final shot we see of Mommy in Hawaiians, because this is where Mommy changes. This is where all the anger and hatred and screaming just disappears. Because she looks herself in the mirror and she realizes, why am I even angry? Why was I even doing any of this? What? And suddenly, all this rage and screaming and scheming and vindictive horseshit that she has been doing this whole time, it's fucking not, it's pointless. She was being a bigoted piece of shit this whole time. She was telling herself she had the moral high ground. She was telling herself she was this good moral person. She was telling herself she's doing what society would deem as acceptable. In reality, she's just a fucking bigoted abuser just like her dad. And she looks in the mirror and just sees herself. I like the lack of expression here. I don't like that she looks upset here. I like that Reiji made it so all of her anger just dissipated. But I want you to hear this. That delivery though? Perfect. That delivery though? Oof. Aoi Yuki, you are my fucking queen. I worship the ground that you walk on. Aoi Yuki is a gift. She is a short queen. She's really short. She's a short queen. God damn, that delivery was magical. That delivery was fucking magical. That was perfect. Even if Mommy looked pissed. She seemed in rather low spirits. Mommy got to her. People don't seem to realize how much Mommy fucked her up. She really, really got to her. She hurt her a lot. I found it so interesting that they're all talking. Kazuya goes to the bathroom and they just fucking ignore him. They just fucking ignore him. Doesn't matter. Right? In the manga, there's even a scene where when he walks away, it literally says, no one's listening. Right? No, they had it there too. Walks away, nobody's listening. No one even cares. Right? Nobody even gives a shit. That's so tragic. Literally no one's paying attention to him. He doesn't matter. He said goddamn in English. Goddamn. He said goddamn in English. God damn it. That was like listening to fucking JoJo. That was, hi Joseph. It's been a hot minute. God damn. Oh God. Huh. I don't know why I didn't clock this. Chizuru goes to the bathroom and she's not left alone. Chizuru goes to the bathroom and no one leaves her alone. Kazuya goes to the bathroom, no one even cares. He gets to go in the bathroom and scream his heart out. And he gets all this personal space that people just give him. Right? Kazuya gets all this personal space. Chizuru gets no personal space, no breathing room, no minute to just be her fucking self for any fucking second. She can't even breathe. Whereas Kazuya, no one even cares if he goes to the restroom alone, which is in of itself a double-edged sword. Because while he gets all this breathing room and he gets to, be in the fucking bathroom and nobody's gonna fucking matter if he screams his stupid ass off, because what the fuck is a guy gonna do to another guy in a restroom? It's fucking weird. Most of us are too scared to be near each other because some guy's wiener might be sticking out. In contrast, what that does is that introduces another problem. It's a double meaning. Whereas Chizuru can't go to the restroom and get peace and time alone. She literally has no peace to herself. Kazuya can go to the restroom. However, he's all alone. All the time. No one even cares if he goes missing. That's a little dark. Hero of Light. This is why I say Kazuya's theme, Roxas's theme works for Kazuya, because he quite literally is a nobody. Kazuya really wants to matter. He wants to be somebody. He wants to matter in his life. And he's constantly told and treated like he doesn't matter. He's a nobody. Even when he this privacy is a double-edged sword. He's a nobody. For Chizuru, the lack of privacy is a double meaning as well. On one hand, she gets no fucking breathing room. On the other, it does make her kind of reflect and deal with some stuff and try to think about some things. So it shows how Kazuya has the privilege of the restroom, and yet he's completely alone. It shows how Chizuru doesn't have the privilege of the restroom, and yet it is necessary in some ways for her to reflect on the relationships that she wants. God fucking damn it. I told you! Fucking told you. Parade of violations. We've crossed a line now. Okay, gotta play some awesome music here for Paradise. I guess the music's fine. Ah, damn it, it's playing this like goofy music. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? This is the shot. This is the shot. Why did they... So they drew the shot. And didn't put it in the scene. So they drew the shot from that alternate angle and they didn't put it in the scene. I am going to slap someone. I am going to fucking slap someone. What do you mean? You drew the shot. You drew the alternate angle, and instead of putting it in, you relegate it to a Kazuya flashback. Nani the fuck? Nani the actual fucking fuck? What do you mean you relegated it to a fucking flashback? Was this in the last episode? Am I insane? I almost want to go to the last episode. Am I crazy? Is it in the last episode? It's not. It can't be. She kisses him. I'm calling it right now. There's an unedited version of this in the Blu-ray. There is probably, I cannot believe this, there's probably a superior version in the Blu-ray. Is this going to be that thing where Chapter 218's Blu-ray version fucking sucks balls? Like, it's actually terrible. And then this version of the kiss is actually godlike in the Blu-ray version. I swear to fucking God, if the Blu-ray has a better version, I am going to lose my shit. I swear to fucking God. Because okay, look, so please understand, I'm familiar with editing, so I can tell you when they draw something like this, you don't relegate that to a flashback. They went out of their way to draw this. They also drew, there's another panel they show. They show the panel that I was talking about before where they do that angle, right? So where is it? They do that angle they skipped. Okay, so okay. They skip this, and they skip this. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see this. They skipped this one, and they skipped this one. Okay? They did not skip this one. Right? Either I'm crazy or they skipped this one. Let's double check just to see if I'm not talking out of my fucking ass. Oh, no, they didn't skip it. They did a panel up. Oh, they didn't skip it. They just did a panel. They just did a pan up. Oh, okay. That's dumb. Oh my God. Are you serious? Are you serious? So, okay. Okay, I see what they did. And I hate it even more. I see what they did and I hate it even more. They drew this. So they drew this. This is what they drew. And then they did composition work on Kazuya and Chizuru, and they added a bunch of filters and stuff. And then they just panned up from Chizuru's ass up to the face. This is the unfiltered version. This is the unfiltered version. So what this is telling me is they have the cuts. They have these unedited cuts. And they kind of just added editing to it and added sparkles and then just panned up to it. Which is rough. So okay, that's why I was confused. It is there. This one is. I know there's another one that isn't there. And it's the one I showed you earlier. This one is not present in the kiss. This one is not present in the kiss. But it does show up in a flashback. It did show up in a flashback. Ah! Okay, Kazuya goes to his room. Oh, they don't capture her very well here. So I'm going to show you what Chizuru's supposed to look like. She kind of just has like a neutral look. In the manga, she looked really distressed. No. In the manga, Chizuru looked really distressed. So in the anime, she just kind of has a neutral look. She's frustrated here. Right? She's not okay. Not like mega distressed. Maybe I overhyped it. But she doesn't look very okay. What happened with mommy was bothering her. Okay, Kazuya comes in. And Chizuru deflects here. Chizuru makes a bad mistake here. Huh. Why is this done so well? Where's more of this? I hate how the anime goes from like omega creative and really interesting to guys, what the fuck? It's literally like whiplash. It just goes from wow, wow, guys, great idea, guys, what the fuck? Risky. You're in heat. This is so good. Wait, I'm kind of curious. Was she fidgeting in the manga too? Oh, they made her look more expectantly in the anime. So in the anime, she looks kind of expectantly at him. She's like, "Oh, what's he doing?" In the manga, she's just kind of staring. She has a slight blush. She holds her hand, but she's very still. They got really creative with it in the anime, credit where it's due. But she's very, very still in the manga. She doesn't move, she doesn't react, she holds her hand. She's literally covering one of her hands as if she doesn't know how she should react, and she's trying to be very respectful. And at the same time, she's trying to hide her hand. She's like, it's almost like she's stopping herself. She wants to do something, but she's stopping herself from doing so. Literally as a mirror to Kazuya. In the anime, they show this by having her fidget a little bit. Oh my god, he. Oh, this is really sad. She came to her room to get some peace and quiet, and Kazuya, without realizing, made her feel uncomfortable, and she left the room. Even now, she can't get any breathing room, and in some ways, that's the consequences of her actions, right? But in another, that was already happening to her before. So, how is it fair to Chizuru that she can never ever get a breathing room? Um, but at the same time, this is also the consequences of her actions. That's kind of terrible, and I think that's kind of the point. I think we're looking at it purely, like most of the readers at this point, we're looking at it purely from the consequences of your actions. Whereas a lot of people are not looking at it from the perspective of she's literally not getting any breathing room. She doesn't even get a minute to breathe. Let me turn on the light. It's like her room isn't even her own. She doesn't even get her own room. Right? She goes to this room because she's stressed, and she doesn't even get her own room. And what does Chizuru do right after this? She goes to the pool. Alone. Nobody there, just her, with her feelings. When she finally gets a moment alone, she can't even really fully appreciate it. And at the same time, she's holding back here. So when in Kazuya, ironically holding back, Chizuru holds back. You're seeing how both of them are literally holding back. Prepare yourself. I'm not gonna let you play the hero. I love that it plays her theme. Was that Chizuru's theme, or which song was that? I'll have to check it later. Yeah, she was sticking up for you, dude. Yeah. She literally says it. She was doing it for him. She was protecting him. And then there was also indicators right there that Kazuya wasn't fully listening to, which is that Chizuru believes she's to blame, that she's not, that mommy was right, and mommy called her a harlot and a gold digger and all these things, and Kazuya's just not processing any of that. Kazuya, she just said mommy is right about all the stigma bullshit she was saying about her. Hey dude, she needs some help. Tell her she's okay as she is. Nope. And it's kind of fair because Kazuya's like hurt at the moment, but it's like it's important to realize like his coping mechanism, right? Like at this point, it's like, yeah, it's a coping mechanism. He can't deal with it right now. It's okay. But right now in the manga, we're hitting at that point where it's like, oh no, this can't stay a coping mechanism. This is becoming a problem now. In fact, it's been a problem this whole time, and you just start recognizing you have a problem. Self-hatred, death by shame. We're talking about Mizuhara Chizuru. Wait, what? Whoa, they added an extra scene. Whoa, they added an extra scene with Ruka. This is not in the manga. They added an extra scene here. Oh, wow, this is a whole brand new scene with Ruka. Oh, they added a whole brand new scene with Ruka. This was not there. You can't get your true self on rental. She can't fall in love with a client, but she can fall in love with the real him. Ooh. There's a subtlety in the dialogue. So I just realized something really interesting that I didn't clock last time. or when we first read it. So let's look at this scene. They added some extra stuff that was not there. Or no. Oh, no, it's in the volume. Oh, no, it's in the volume. Wait. It's in the volume, but is it there? Okay. Oh. Oh, no, this stuff is in the volume. Was it... Am I crazy? Was it not there in the original? Am I bonkers? Am I crazy? Was it not in the original? Oh, no, it was. Huh. I don't know why I didn't remember this. No, this was all there. Oh. Wow, I just, like, forgot about all of this. Weird. Huh. Weird. How did I just forget about all of this? Huh. Anyways, I wanted to point out something kind of interesting. In particular, so we had, right, you have this. So these two shots are meant to parallel, okay? Right, so these two final shots are meant to parallel. Whereas Kazuya looks up, Chizuru looks down. Now, there's an interesting thing about this. There's a fascinating little thing about this that I didn't even notice the first time. Chizuru is actually outside, and she turns away from the moon. She turns away from the light of the moon. The light is too bright. Kazuya is inside. Kazuya's inside, and what he's looking up at is an artificial light. And then you have the real moon below. Oh my god, it was there the whole time. What is currently going on in the manga? What is so much of the story happening right now? Kazuya is inside. He's inside his home under an artificial light. Not the real thing. He's looking at a false light. Whereas Chizuru cannot face the real light of the moon. And she names the moon her grandmother. Now Kazuya is the new moon. Kazuya is Chizuru's new moon. Right? So here in this moment, the moon represents Sayuri. Right? Now Kazuya has seemingly replaced Sayuri in the sky, if you will. But can Kazuya truly replace Sayuri? So you have this parallel with the moon. The moon is being shared here, right? So with Kazuya, he says Mizuhara, and it's just the moon in the sky, right? Paralleled with him. Chizuru is the flip. Chizuru, the moon doesn't take full center page. Rather, part of it is her memories of Kazuya. And him saying, you can't rent the real me. So when she says, I can't fall in love with a client, I think that line is kind of a misdirect. I actually think this line was a misdirect. I think we misread this line. It was telling you from the get-go, she can't fall in love with a client, she can't rent the real him. Wait, was this all a... Did we just never understand the contextual meaning of this line? Because of how it simply appeared to us the first time we read it. Because what does Chizuru proceed to do after? She forms a real relationship with him. She forms a real bond and a relationship with him purely outside of rental. No rental whatsoever. So maybe we just fundamentally misunderstood the meaning of this line because of how it looked to us. And now Reiji is getting ready to recontextualize it. Because you can't rent real love. Just as you can't rent the real him. So she tries to get to know the real him. maybe that's what she was saying. Because Chizuru knows she can't fall in love with a customer. Because she never did. In fact, Chizuru even says this later in the date. Do you remember that? In the date, she literally tells Kazuya, I've never fallen in love with a customer. So Kazuya was never just a customer. She didn't fall in love with him through the job. They interacted a lot outside of the job. They had a whole relationship and an emotional bond outside of the job. I think this line is meant to be misleading. Kazuya being a customer here is an excuse. He's not actually a customer. He's not a client. If she can't fall in love with a client, then make it so he's not a client. Holy shit. Holy shit, is Reiji about to like recontextualize Hawaiians just as I've been doing it for you guys? Because so much of Hawaiians, by most people, is viewed purely from Kazuya's perspective and not how Kazuya was pressuring and cornering Chizuru a lot, right? Most people don't see it that way. So in the way that we are getting that possibly recontextualized soon, that Kazuya was Chizuru's villain without meaning to, so too would a lot of Chizuru's lines probably be recontextualized. Like this one. Because this line explains every single thing she was doing afterwards. Literally cutting rental completely out of the picture. And literally telling Kazuya, I've never actually fallen in love with a client. I've never felt this way. Like here, let's pull that up. Right? And this is the chapter where they're talking about cheating. And Chizuru here specifically brings up sex work. Right? When they're talking about it, the same can probably be said for sex workers. Not even sex would count in that case. But if you love the person you do it with even a little bit, that's when I consider it cheating. Okay? I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Where's the line drawn between a rental girlfriend and a real girlfriend? I receive money, go on dates, and hold hands. That's who I am. It's platonic through diamond. But sometimes I even whisper sweet nothings to them. Oh, look, it's literally what mommy said. But never once have I fallen in love with a client. Even that never changed. What she said here is consistent. There's no way I can fall in love with a client. Okay, then what is Kazuya? Right? So she reaffirmed that here. She can't fall in love with a client. And she never did. That never happened. So what is Kazuya? He's not a client, right? What is he? Do you see why this is a little confusing? Because he's a client, but she's never fallen in love with a client. Huh. But then she might be in love with him. What the fuck? Do you see what's happening here? When I talk about quitting my job as a rental girlfriend, it wouldn't be for my boyfriend, it would be for my clients. I could never be their girlfriend because I already have someone I love. That's why I'm here today, so I can learn how to describe what it is that I am feeling. Huh. Just as here, right? So this line has stayed consistent. She never fell in love with a client. That never happened, and Kazuya is not a client. Kazuya is something else. And the most fascinating thing about the end of this arc, you never see him pay her. When this arc ends, you never see him pay her. Did you notice that? He was supposed to pay her for this rental thing. This is still rental. And yet you never see him pay her. That's weird. Like, if you cut to the next chapter, they're already home. And it's never mentioned that Kazuya paid her or anything. It's almost like we forgot about that completely. That's weird. It's almost like he's not a client. If she can't fall in love with a client, then he's no longer a client. And that's why she starts refusing rental dates from him. Because if she goes on a rental date with him, then he's a client and she can't fall in love with a client. Huh. Interesting. Kazuya isn't the only one she's confused about. I think she feels guilty because her job as a rental girlfriend forces her to blur the lines between real and fake feelings. That's not the issue. Oh, no, that's not the issue. Chizuru is able to actually blur those lines. It's Kazuya specifically who's blurring these lines. Sex work can do that, and rental can do that, where the lines can blur, and you have to know how to draw lines to know which is which. And that's why so much of the current arc is about drawing lines and clarifying which is which, segmenting things intentionally. But up until this point, Chizuru was really good at segmenting and compartmentalizing her life. That was not an issue prior to this arc. This is where it started. She actually compartmentalized her life quite well up until Sayuri died. When Sayuri died, it all started crashing into itself. And Chizuru couldn't tell anymore. But when she works rental, you never see her struggle. You never see her struggle with any client. In fact, she reaffirmed that to herself. This is literally what she reaffirms right here. Right? Right here, when they're talking about cheating, she reaffirms never happened. Never fallen in love with a client. So what is this? What is this that she feels for Kazuya? This is a whole other ballgame. Because he is a client, and she's catching feelings for him. But there's this whole bunch of nuance. There's this long, complicated nuance that needs to be discussed and talked about that Kazuya is not recognizing. And I think Chizuru is also not recognizing. Not sure how to fully process this at the moment. This feels like a really deep, layered thing that I'm not sure how to process at the moment. And next week, we have the 3 months time skip. They're already showing the 3 months. Minnie's return, the 3 months. Look at Kazuya, fucking shit show. Look at Kazuya, absolute shit show. Long time no girlfriend. Interesting name. Ryan ghosting episode. Is that supposed to be Ryan Gosling? So Ryan ghosting? Was that what you were going for? I'm not sure. So this is the elephant in the room. Yeah, no. There's a lot of elephants in the room. Mommy's the big elephant in the room. Mommy's the one who got it into Chizuru's head that Kazuya is just a client. Mommy is the one who got it into Chizuru's head that Kazuya is just a client. Kazuya is not just a client. But that's the problem. Mommy got it into Chizuru's head that Kazuya is just a client. I think that might be the core of this. That Mommy got it into Chizuru's head that Kazuya is just a client. And that Chizuru is breaking the rules by being with this client. So she tries to draw the line between a client and a rental, but she's still, it's stuck in her head that Kazuya is a client and she's trying to make him the real thing when he's been the real thing this whole time. Just as Kazuya in many ways is trying to make his relationship with Chizuru real. Chizuru's trying to make her emotions for him real. Kazuya is trying to make his relationship with Chizuru real when it's been real the whole time. I think they're doing it in reverse. Chizuru is Chizuru's trying to make her emotions real. Kazuya is trying to make his relationship with her real. Whereas both have been real. Both of their emotions have been real. Damn, bro, he looks like a different character. I know! Bro, what are they doing to these poor characters? Right? I think they burned all of their budget on, like, those first episodes. I think they burned a lot of their budget on those, like, first episodes, and now they're running on fumes. Right? It's literally just like a lot of people were, like, saying Season 5 is, like, already starting better than Season 4. I kind of suspected this would happen. The first episodes of Season 5 were going to be really good. And then around now, so like we're 5 and then episode 6 next week, are already not looking great. But yeah, I bet Hero's talking about how the 3-month time skip, he looks like a different person. Yeah, his hair grew shaggy. He had like a stubble and shit. Kazuya looks like a totally different person. After Hawaiians, we didn't see a rental date anymore. Things went to the next phase from there. We saw a single rental date, and the only reason Chizuru did it was specifically because you have to remember what Kazuya said. You have to remember very specifically what Kazuya said. When Chizuru agrees to the rental date, Kazuya says something very specific. Right? He noticed, oh, Chizuru gave the okay for a rental date. So she doesn't hate me after all. Did something change? Meeting on the job. I guess that's easier for her to talk that way. What he doesn't realize is that that's literally what she's thinking, because why did Chizuru agree to this rental meetup in the first place? Think about that very carefully. Why did Chizuru agree to a rental meetup in the first place? Because Kazuya kept trying to rent her in the 3 months. Now let's flip Kazuya's dialogue and pretend as if Chizuru is saying it. Meaning through rental. I guess it's easier for him to talk that way. She did rental because she thinks it might be easier for him. And wouldn't you know it, let's go to the date and see what happens. When Kazuya runs into her, when they meet up, which is again a direct parallel to Mami, freaks out. Literally the kiss all over again. It's the same thing. Literally the kiss all over again, and Chizuru clocks it. And Chizuru oh, you guys can't see. Fuck, sorry. You guys can't see. My bad. Right, so they meet up again. Let me show you the earlier thing that I was talking about. You guys probably didn't see that. Shit. Okay, right here. Kazuya specifically says, meeting on the job, I guess it's easier for her to talk that way. Flip it around. Now apply it to Chizuru. Chizuru is probably literally thinking this, right? It's probably easier for him to meet through rental because that's the way he was trying to contact her. Okay, now let's close this. Let me close all these. I don't need all these open. Close all these. Now, let's go when they meet. And notice what happens. Notice what happens. So Chizuru meets up. This is a direct parallel to when Mami meets up with him. Chizuru clocks he's freaking the fuck out. And it's just like the kiss, right? It's literally just like the kiss. He meets her again. He's freaking the fuck out. What do I say? What do I do? Chizuru takes control of the scene. And she remains calm. So, want to get going to the restaurant? She plays it cool. There's a very specific reason you see her in shadows here. She realizes, okay, he's panicking. I got to take control. He's freaking out. I'm scaring him. I got to take control. Kazuya thinks this is to make Chizuru feel comfortable. Yet who's the one who is in control the whole time, and who's the one freaking the fuck out? Kazi is the one who's freaking the fuck out the whole time. In this entire rental date, Kazi is the one freaking the fuck out. Right? He's the one who's not calm in any metric, in any way, shape, or form. He's freaking the fuck out. So Chizuru takes control. He's like, why is she so calm? Why is she so composed? Am I the weird one here? Not processing why Chizuru is acting like this. But she's on the clock right now. Maybe it's hard for her to mix personal stuff with business. Reiji intentionally draws him in shadow. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. That's not what's happening. She's literally taking charge because he can't. And he doesn't notice. And guess what? This becomes a reoccurring pattern all throughout the entire cohabitation, the Odaiba date, literally everything. Because Kazuya just can't move. In the date, the Odaiba date that he planned the entire Odaiba date, she's leading most of the time. Because he can't fucking do it. So what happens here, he decides to step in front of her. And look, she starts looking at his hand. Look at this stupid patty fucking idiot. She starts looking at his hand. Because she wants to hold his fucking hand. Kazuya, 2 seconds ago, was saying she can't mix personal stuff with business. Yet here she is doing exactly that. And if she can't mix personal stuff with business, then why is she meeting him through business? It's almost like she doesn't want to meet him through this. It's almost like Chizuru didn't want to meet through rental. His own thought process contradicts what's happening. And Kazuya doesn't notice. She doesn't want to meet through rental. He's right. She doesn't want to mix business and personal. This is personal. And yet she has to take charge, and he doesn't realize why she has to take charge. And what does she do? She does a lot of personal stuff. And oh, look, she's just as flustered as him. When Kazuya talks, oh, wait, so this is the end of the volume. When Kazuya talks, Chizuru is like, you go first. It's almost like she's constantly trying to let him go first. And what happens, he can't. Are you seeing a pattern? Are you seeing a fucking pattern? She tells him, okay, you go. I'll shut the fuck up. You go. He can't. So what does she do? She's like, okay, we'll do what you want. Oh, look, he wants to hold her hand. Wait, I kind of want to hold his hand. So she says, never mind, I didn't want to talk about anything. What happens? They get to walk and hold hands for a little bit. She got to do what she wanted. She got to do what she wanted. She got to do the personal thing. She wanted to hold his hand. She finally got to have some sort of physical fucking interaction with him. It's been killing her. And it fucking finally happened. So she's just like, I'm going to enjoy this moment for what it fucking is. I'm a goddamn indulgent. I'm not going to say fucking anything. I am indulging in this fucking moment. Thank you very much. I'm going to shut the fuck up. Thank you for the meal. They get here and they get to the station and there's only like 30 minutes left. And Kazuya again doesn't do anything. So what happens? She takes initiative. I have to apologize. I have to say sorry. She gives him a gift. She says, here, it's chocolate. Take it. Proceeds to apologize and talk. She takes the initiative, right? Again, Chizuru realizes, okay, he can't move. He can't take any form of fucking initiative. He can't move. Now, this is where something interesting happens. When Chizuru bows, whenever I tried to reach out to you, I couldn't get Ruka-chan out of my mind. I kept thinking, this is wrong. She's in shadow here. And so is he. There's a very specific reason for this. Ruka is not the reason Ruka is not the reason Chizuru can reach out to him. Ruka is a misdirect. Chizuru thinks that's the reason. This is wrong is the real reason. This is wrong is the real reason. Why does Chizuru think this is wrong? What did mommy tell her? You're terrible. You fell in love with a client. What the fuck is wrong with you? How are you? You're stealing someone from someone else. Right? Ruka's like, you cuckold me. But mommy is the real issue. Right? Ruka is the mask for the issue. Mommy is the real issue. Because mommy is the one who got it into Chizuru's head that what she's doing is terrible. Ruka is the face of the problem. Right? Chizuru's guilt for Ruka mirrors her guilt for her grandmother. Because what did I say Ruka is? What did I describe Ruka as? Chizuru idolizes Ruka's love, just as she idolizes Sayuri, a person she could never surpass, just as she can't surpass Ruka. Ruka is a disguise for the real issue. Right? Ruka is... Chizuru feels guilty about Ruka, but Ruka isn't actually the real issue. Right? The guilt Chizuru feels for Ruka isn't actually the real issue. And if anything, when Chizuru actually learns about Ruka, she's definitely not going to feel that guilty about it. So she doesn't actually even know why she keeps saying this is wrong. And she doesn't realize it stems from the stigma. It stems from what mommy was saying. It stems from how mommy kept telling her, you're a terrible person, that what you're doing is wrong. It's almost like when you constantly make someone who works a job like Chizuru's feel terrible for working at that job, feel terrible for even falling in love, they feel it's wrong to reach out to that person, to desire any form of intimacy and physical interactions from that person. Chizuru feels horrible for even holding his hand there. And yet she does it. Chizuru feels horrible for her sexual desires that she feels for Kazuya. When Chizuru says it's not the season for it, but I thought it'd be better than nothing, Kazuya's in shadows. He doesn't really realize what this actually means. She wanted to give you something, anything. She wanted to give back to you in some way, but he doesn't see that. He doesn't realize that's what that means. Right? I feel like crying, and I don't know why. Just as she doesn't know her reasoning, neither does he. He feels like crying for being appreciated as a direct parallel to when he first got a gift from her. He feels like crying because he's being valued as a person, as a human being. That he's worthy to receive a gift from someone. Why do you think Kazuya idolizes the ever-living shit out of this gift and refuses to fucking open it? Because he thinks he'll never get another one. This gift represents to Kazuya the importance of his existence. Why do you think Kazuya can't get rid of his phone? Because that is a gift Chizuru gave him that symbolizes that he matters. He doesn't realize what these gifts actually mean. He doesn't know what these gifts actually mean. To him, they're in shadows about themselves. They don't know why they're even doing what they're doing. Their feelings are all jumbled up. They've lost sight of why they're acting the way that they're acting. Chizuru is confused about her emotions. Chizuru is confused about her love. She doesn't understand love. Kazuya is confused about himself. He doesn't even know why this is happening. It's an apology. I keep coming back with just apologies. Shadows again. Now's the time. It's now or never. It's been the time this whole time. Why is it now or never, I wonder? And again, look at how he's hidden in shadows. I want to talk over Friel one more time. There's something else here. Oh no, this isn't just about talking. There's something else here. Something wrong here. Why is he so fucking scared? But back then, I wasn't lying about my feelings. He hides in shadows. What's he not lying about? He's hiding his sexual desires. And notice how he steps away. You idiot, deal with it. What is this? I can't take it. My hands are shaking. My legs are wobbling. It's taking everything I've got just to stay upright. Why am I about to cry? He doesn't understand why his body's acting like this. He's literally, as we are right now in the manga, out of sync with himself. His body's acting one way, his mind is acting in another. I can't hear Mizuhara's answer in such a state. I'm barely able to keep appearances as it is. He doesn't realize what he's doing is literally a defensive mechanism. He's lying to himself to get out of here because he's scared shitless and his body is freaked because this reminds him of Hawaiians. And he believes he's a nobody. He's sure he's a nobody. So when he wants to walk away, it's so he doesn't get rejected. He thinks he's about to get rejected. That's why he's walking away. His body is like 100% sure he is going to get rejected. That's why he's walking away. That's the reason. This is enough for today. I was able to tell her what I needed to. I don't need to do anymore. But what's he doing? He's closing his eyes and he's ignoring her. He's not giving her a chance to say anything. I'll tell you everything if you'll let me. Let me tell you. He won't let her tell him. His body is too busy being afraid. His body's too busy being controlled by the defensive mechanisms. So he can't do, so he doesn't give her a minute. Do you see how defensive mechanisms and trauma responses and when we use these coping mechanisms, they can hurt the people that we love, right? Do you see how your coping mechanisms can hurt the people that you love when you let them control you? Now, in this instance, it's like, okay, pure trauma response. What Kazi is going through here, pure trauma response. However, what Reiji's illustrating is that it's been here from the start, right? Here, okay, Kazuya is like, you know, you can look at it purely from, okay, Kazuya has a coping mechanism, it's fine, right? Here, it's kind of okay, like you can understand. However, you can also realize how it's been there from the fucking start. How even when he didn't mean to, he wasn't trying to, he's just afraid, he was robbing her of a choice. And she needed to advocate for herself to get her choice back, much like how with Mommy was robbing her of a choice. Kazuya has no autonomy over how his body moves. The body moves all on its own. He has no autonomy over it. Whereas Chizuru must advocate for her autonomy because no one else will. Kazuya was just going to walk away. He wasn't actually going to let her say anything, and he would have been too afraid to talk to her again. That's just a fact. He would have been too afraid to talk to her again. She did need to advocate for herself. He couldn't handle it, but he also didn't realize how he was robbing her of autonomy in walking away. Right? The conversation isn't over. Why are you walking away? And he couldn't handle it. There's also another scene in the next chapter where Chizuru doesn't see how she's hurting him. Okay, so we get to the next chapter. Again in shadow. Look at him. He's in fucking shock. She's serious. He's terrified. Tell me everything. Right here, right now. Everything? Everything like what? Her blood type? Of course not. Her answer, it has to be whether it's a yes or no. Wouldn't you know it? It's neither. Whether she has feelings for me. She explains, and again, Kazuya constantly remain in shadows. Quit being a rental girlfriend. Mizuhara considered that because of me. He didn't realize what that meant. Living expenses. When he realizes what she's doing, look, he's illuminated. It's almost like you need to start taking initiative. He helped her advocate for herself. This is why Chizuru appreciates him, because he stood up for her and he advocated for her and he made her feel comfortable. He put her first. This is what she likes about him. Right? He's like, no, don't give up your job. I wouldn't be okay with that. He hides that she's so cute. Okay. Minnie said that this is affection, and what lies the thing that lies ahead is the path of feelings of love. The feelings of love, then that means her answer is he's in shadows. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know what she's saying. I can't help but think, are you really okay with that? The girl you really love is Chizuru Mizuhara, you know? Maybe. This has a double meaning. On one hand, Kazuya is invisible to Chizuru. Her eyes are closed, she doesn't see him, and this really hurts him. On the other, Kazuya is in shadows because he doesn't know what she's talking about. He doesn't know that she's not, that what she's doing here is maybe ironically trying to show him a part of her real self. Or her real self. There's a double meaning here. It's a double entendre. On one hand, he's invisible because she literally doesn't see him. On the other, he's invisible because he doesn't realize what these words mean. Or sorry, he's in shadows because he doesn't realize what these words mean. Again, one of those double contextual scenes. Downcast in shadows. Isn't it unreasonable to expect someone to be 100% real all the time? We're all human. It might perhaps be impossible to not embellish who you are. Maybe. It's interesting that he's hidden in shadow here. These words sting a lot, because what does Kazuya proceed to do after this point? He embellishes who he is. He keeps changing who he is. His eyes are hidden because she doesn't see how Kazuya begins to change. I think this moment is kind of like maybe the big turning point. I think maybe this is kind of where Chizuru messed up. Because she essentially gave him the inclination that his feelings won't reach her when she was trying to show her real self. I think this is where maybe Chizuru fucked up. Maybe you could consider this the singularity. But I think this was her trying to show him her real self. Hey, look, I have a bad side. And ironically, Chizuru was trying to embellish her bad side. She's just like, see, I can do bad things. I'm not perfect. You must not like me now. Right? And Kazuya becomes certain there's no way to change it, is there? Deep down, he starts believing there's no way to change this. Mizuhara will never be mine. He's in shadows. I think this was the moment. So please, I'd ask you to wait just a little longer. And then he's illuminated, but again, he's in shadows. He doesn't know what this really means. He buried his feelings until they exploded. Ooh, I think, you know what? I'm going to move it. I think this might have been where we could argue yeah, you know what? This is where D-mail happened. This is where the D-mail happened. I think maybe this is where we could say the D-mail happened. Right? Or rather, maybe we could say this is where we thought we went into the correct timeline. This is where we thought Minnie sent us into the correct timeline. In reality, maybe we didn't. Maybe we've been in the wrong timeline this whole time. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe the moment Kazuya used Minnie. Yeah, I think we could argue that it all started with the text Kazuya sent to Chizuru. It all started with the text Kazuya sent Chizuru. Right? Remember this text Kazuya sent Chizuru? That's where it all started. It all started with the single text that Kazuya sent Chizuru. That's how the 3 months happened. Just as now, Minnie is that text. Interesting. Okay. So we can essentially say that it all happened like around Hawaiians and these chapters, like it's somewhere in these chapters, the 230 chapters, right? It takes those 230 chapters, which by the way, I just realized the 3-month time skip ends on chapter 239, part 8. It ends on chapter 239, part 8. So when we get to 240, the 3-month time skip ended. Huh. This literally all started with chapters 230 to 239, and it's all directly connected to Mommy. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, let me read some of the comments. I gotta give it to you. Your gaslighting skills are as good as Mommy's. Okay. She always wanted to cross the emotional gap between real and rental, but at the same time, she needs rental as a defense mechanism to cope with the fear of establishing an emotional bond. That's actually Kazuya. Chizuru used to kind of do that. But I wouldn't even argue she really fully did that. I would argue Chizuru didn't use rental as a coping or defensive mechanism. She just had a natural defensive mechanism herself. Whereas Chizuru is removing that defensive mechanism now. Kazuya is the one with the defensive mechanism. So no. This is not Chizuru using rental as a defensive mechanism. This is Kazuya using it as a defensive mechanism, and he doesn't know he's doing this. At the start of the series, Chizuru did have a lot of defensive mechanisms, but she actually overcame a lot of those because Kazuya also had a lot of defensive mechanisms. After Sayuri died, I would argue that's kind of where Chizuru started somewhat using rental as a full-blown defensive mechanism. After Sayuri died, like, I think that's where Chizuru really started using rental as a full-blown defensive mechanism. But then that broke in the cheer update. And Kazuya essentially kept unintentionally pushing her to do that, right? Kazuya unintentionally kept pushing her to do that. Kept pushing her to go back to that defensive mechanism when she didn't want to. And I think we're kind of missing that. Kazuya is the one currently using rental as a defensive mechanism. That created a paradox and also creates a lot of misinterpretation to the audience into believing she's taking this money or she's a gold digger. Kazuya expected Chizuru to reject him in the date. That's why he didn't look surprised or sad. He got angry because that's what he expected. Kazuya is still calling her Mizora. He's still embellishing her and not accepting her bad side. Chizuru did evolve, Kazuya didn't. Yeah, no, this entire arc, Reiji literally said the whole point of the cohabitation arc is that Chizuru starts becoming the main lead active character. He thought it was weird that Chizuru wasn't moving, that the dude was doing all of the moving. So he wrote the cohabitation with the idea of the female character moving. She needs to start doing some moving. And she did. Much of the cohabitation is Chizuru evolving as a character, whereas Kazuya absolutely lost his character and lost his identity. He didn't really evolve. Chizuru did, and she's continuing to evolve even now. She's still changing. Chizuru's been changing the whole time. Kazuya said she changed past tense, whereas Chizuru is constantly changing, constantly evolving. As she literally said, feelings change all the time. So she's literally constantly changing. Whereas Kazuya has literally stagnated. His emotions literally don't change. So I would argue that Chizuru it hasn't really been using rental as a defense mechanism. Not like literally that defense mechanism was shattered in Hawaiians. Hawaiians was where she was kind of using it, and it shattered in Hawaiians. And even then, in Hawaiians, she didn't want to use it. And the best representation of that is literally when the 3-month time skip happens. It's right there. When Chizuru is sitting in her room, it's literally visually represented right there. You see 3 particular things in her room. 1, the door is closed. 2, a closed umbrella. 3, overflowing emotions, right? These are roses, overflowing love, overflowing romance. Lastly, you see incense representing Sayuri. When you pen here, you specifically see a closed umbrella, and the light is on the other side. And she can't face the light. She sits in the shadow. It's literally the depression metaphor perfectly. You sit on the side of the door, you can't open the door. You feel like you can't open the door to light. Right? Her umbrella is closed, her protection is gone. She can't use, right, the umbrella protection for aka rental. That's just gone. So she can't open the door. The door is like the only safety she kind of has. Right? She literally has nothing. She's cornered all the way back into her home. She has no safety bubble at all. Chizuru has no safety whatsoever. She's cornered all the way back into her room. So no, rental is not a defense mechanism for Chizuru anymore. In fact, she fucking hates it. She hates her job because mommy made her hate her job. No, mommy literally made Chizuru hate her fucking job. Which is horrible. No, so I adamantly believe Chizuru has not used rental as a defense mechanism since Sayuri died and since Hawaiians. Right? When Hawaiians ended, she stopped doing it. Do we get a new chapter next week? Yes. I don't know if there'll be another week break. There might be another week break. I'm not sure. Like after that one. So we'll get a chapter next week and there might be another week break. I could be wrong. But I recall usually when there's Golden Week, there's always a break right after Golden Week for some weird fucking reason. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe it's a New Year thing, so I could be wrong. I know, actually, I might be wrong. Actually, I might be wrong because it's I believe it's the New Year. So usually the New Year, so around Christmas time and New Year's, there's a break. Then you get a chapter, and then there's another break. So we might actually be okay. Never mind. We might actually be okay. Mommy, the girl who hasn't left a brick in her whole life, made other people hate their jobs. Pure poetry. Oh, damn. Mommy, a girl who's never worked a job in her whole life, made people hate their job. Damn. It rhymes. Like poetry. Damn. Yeah. No, and I talked about this. I discussed this as early as the rejection. I can pull it up. I'll finish shortly. But I vividly recall discussing this as early as the rejection. Right? Chizuru believes she's not ready, that her love is impure. Why she specifically says what she says when turning him down. It's about her desire to be with him physically. She's been conditioned that that is unacceptable, that she's bad for feeling this way when he doesn't. Mirroring how Kazuya was conditioned that his actions cause Chizuru discomfort. So in turn, he struggles to physically initiate anything, only ever being extra considerate and giving her space, despite the fact that they've already kissed and are way past the point of intimacy. This is trauma, and it's present all over the date and the cohabitation, giving Chizuru the impression that he doesn't feel physical desire. And since Chizuru doesn't doubt his love, it means he is in love and she isn't. She's just horny, that's it. Sound familiar? Mommy and Ruka lost it at Chizuru for this. Mommy called Chizuru a whore, and Ruka said she cucked her, and that clearly ate away at Chizuru, informing the end of the Hawaiians arc in the 3-month ghosting. She's not allowed to see him, she can't touch him, she's bad for feeling this. This tripled her guilt, her doubt, and even her self-loathing. This stigma that kept getting thrown at her, whether it was her job, her feelings, or her actions, made her just stop moving. She can't engage. Kazuya has to, so it's the same trauma all rooted back to stigma and shame. Yamori exasperated this without meaning to, pushing this stigma and subtly saying the exact words that Kazuya to Kazuya and Chizuru, enforcing roles and limiting actions, creating scenarios and doubts. Case in point, not seeing cute unless prompted or not holding her hand at all. Kazuya is very horny, but he hid this, conditioned that his lust, his desires, his wants are a bad thing that can only be a part of love after he is accepted, not before. So he literally he can literally never show it. He has to constantly go vent it out somewhere else, hidden just like her. This relationship has already progressed to the point of physical intimacy a long time ago, but it's something they felt they needed to suppress for the opposite reasons. Kazuya, because he felt his actions pushed Chizuru away, that she might hate him for feeling this way. Chizuru, in contrast, because she's been conditioned that her actions are all self-serving, that she's hurting his life, that Kazuya doesn't feel the same way. He doesn't want to hug or kiss her the same way she does, because he never does anything, no matter what scenario he is in. This in turn makes her doubt her feelings, that she isn't in love but simply desires him. That is because of the comments from characters like Mommy, the morally gray nature of the lies, and even her own guilt over her grandmother. You doubt your very self and who you are. This lack of acceptance is key. The acceptance phase of grief, the acceptance of our bad half, the acceptance of our feelings. That this theme and conflict of acceptance informs even the smallest chapters. You see it in all this. You see it in all this spread: vulnerability, overflowing feelings, and grief. One such chapter that's informed by this is chapter 318, a chapter where Kazuya looks for a mole on Chizuru's inner thigh. You heard that right. A stupid chapter like that is connected to the theme of acceptance, right? So if you guys remember, Kazuya literally accepts his own feelings and like starts seeing the things on Chizuru's legs, right? By its nature, it's about accepting the small, no matter how damn tiny a part of us it is. By its nature, it censors itself around looking for the tiny details and not focusing on the big ones, because in accepting the little things in life, we give meaning to the big ones, right? No, literally, these characters are literally suffering from stigma and shame. They've been conditioned and taught that their feelings are terrible. They've been shamed and humiliated for feeling the way that they do, and they believe they're horrible people for feeling this way. What are we then, if not cruel, uncaring ghouls, if this is their response to a kind, compassionate young girl who appreciates the importance of love and happiness? We are the monsters. We are the villains, not Chizuru and not Kazuya, the audience, the readers, the haters. Right? Kazuya is antithetical to the readers and haters. He is not us. He tells us to be better for the women in our life, be better for yourself, be a more compassionate and empathetic person, because without kindness and love, there is no point. He sees Chizuru this whole time while people were quick to turn on her the moment she did something that they didn't like or didn't understand, right? Even when Kazuya doesn't see her, he still kind of sees her. Everyone was villainizing her, attacking her, even threatening Chizuru and raging himself with violence. Think about that. That's people's response to a person who has actively tried to give love but thought they weren't doing it wrong. That's your response to someone who gives someone a home for free for a whole month, to someone who puts others first, even to her own detriment. Reishi literally tricked us into becoming the very villains we wanted to criticize, not by being deceiving, but by literally challenging our empathy. He doesn't tell us what Chizuru is thinking, he just challenges us to try and understand. And if we can't, if we didn't read it, if we read and randomly jumped to just react TLDR haters, or just focused on what the characters did wrong instead of who they are, we played right into his hands. If we can empathize, if we can recognize that Chizuru didn't just take Kazuya's money, that she actively fought him on his spending and even removed money entirely from the relationship in hopes of connecting meaningfully, then that she actively showed care, concern, and love for him, we can see this move coming. The dude is literally teaching us how to be kind and empathetic through trial by fire. All right? What we love, what we desire, and who we want. Not Mizuhara, not Ichinose, but Chizuru, all of her, everything. It is dark and light expressed in equal measure. All right? And considering Chizuru's ideal marriage is possibly getting into a fight, but laughing about it 2 years later. Yeah, all that fun stuff. Man, look at me calling this shit miles away. Look at me calling this shit miles away. Look at me calling this shit miles away. Okay, gang. I'm going to call it for here. I think maybe tomorrow when I stream, I'll play some Kingdom Hearts. So I'd like to do some Kingdom Hearts. It's been a hot minute since we did some Kingdom Hearts. In the meantime, I'm going to see... So tomorrow we'll stream Kingdom Hearts, and then Friday I might stream more, maybe Rent a Girlfriend. And then we'll try to see if we can talk a little more about the chapter, because it's been a hot minute since we talked about the chapter. I'll see if I can expand on some of the ideas we discussed here. And then we'll just kind of go from there. I have the weekend off, so I have Saturday and Sunday off. See if we can do something then. Maybe I'll see if I can edit something. Just trying to see like what I can change. I know for Patreon, I'm trying to see if I can do like some sort of Q&A. So I can do like a Q&A stream or a Q&A video where I answer questions for people. So if anyone has like questions or anything they're interested about, I can like answer some questions. But that's kind of roughly it. I'm trying to see what I can do and what I can change. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We streamed for a good 3.5 hours, or no, 3 hours and 12 minutes, not half hours yet. I hope this was fun. We talked about a lot. We delved into a lot. The episode was okay. I would give the episode like a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I'm really curious if there is a Blu-ray version. I am super duper curious if there's a Blu-ray version of the episode because damn, if there is, holy shit. If there's a Blu-ray version of the episode and it's better, bruh. 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 If there's a Blu-ray version of the episode and it's better, damn. Also, what the fuck is going on with Star Fox? Did they announce a new game or a movie? Did they announce a new game for Star Fox or a movie? Either way, it looks ugly as fuck. It looks fugly, dude. It looks terrible. I get what they're trying to go for. They're trying to go for those like doll-like what is it? Like the stop motion. Is it? Yeah, I think it's like called stop motion animation style. That's like what's that movie? It's like this movie with the dogs. It's like Dog Island or something. Something like that. It's a movie. Something like that. Yeah, this movie, Isle of Dogs. Like it has kind of like this aesthetic, but it just doesn't look appealing. Like this is kind of what the Star Fox thing looks like, but it doesn't look very appealing. And this is like stop motion, right? Where like they're like moving the things, or is it just an animation? Either way, I don't like how the new Star Fox looks. Like I'm kind of baffled they didn't just stick with the Mario. Like as much as I'm kind of like weird about the Mario Galaxy movie, the Star Fox design was kind of peak as fuck, and they should have just stuck with that. They should have just stuck with that design, dude. Like if it's a movie or if it's a fucking video game, they should have just stuck with that design. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that design. It looks terrible. It looks fucking awful. Anywho, it's getting late. I don't know how many people are still here, but I'm gonna call it for tonight. We'll continue tomorrow. I'll play Kingdom Hearts. I hope you guys enjoy me playing Kingdom Hearts. I hope you have fun with that. But I'm gonna call it for tonight. I got work tomorrow. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see where we go from here. Still figuring that out. Take care, gang. See you later. Have a good night or day wherever.